Bandicoot.
Press start to begin.
You are 100% right, Jose, but what I hate even more than intros is starting on time. No, whenever I'm packing for a trip, I get all flustered and I'm late and everything else like that. So that is entirely the reason here that I am running late, is because I was packing. That's right. That is my intro music. Okay, so the stream is working, people are here, they can see me, the internet can totally see you now, is what my thingy says, so I assume that that means that it is true. I don't know if my game is even set up to capture, apparently it's not, hold on. Turn that on, maybe, do this, there we go. Now we got a game. That's better. That's
Press
better.
start to begin.
Okay, cool. There's a shirtless man doing Uber rides on YouTube Live. That's cool. The internet can totally see me now. Okay, so this is me, and this button is for not me. That's for zebras. Is my zebra button not working? I have to fix my zebra button. Sorry. Yeah, I'm running late this morning, or this evening, because I should have packed, like, earlier in the day, but I didn't. Oh, I don't have a zebra button. There's my zebras. Okay. I was like, oh, I don't see any zebras, and that's why. Oh, wow, this audio is way too loud. Just a second. Sorry. I did not realize that that was going to be so loud. Nope, not what I wanted to do. Okay. We'll turn you down. There we go. That's a little bit better, hopefully. Chris, stop, begin. Yes. Alright. Yeah, no, my problem with this was just that I didn't have the buttons pushed right. Okay, so now I've pushed all the buttons. I've done everything else. Okay, so I think we can start now, hopefully.
Press start.
There we go. Oh, I wonder if my controller's all screwed up. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, well, so I don't think LA is going to be any hotter than Boston. What? Ugh. Oh, my controls are all screwed up. Hold on. Gotta mess with my controllers again. Urgh! This is what I get when I don't sit up ahead of time. You just get to see me playing with things over and over. So somehow there's like some weirdness with this like EPSXE and my controller just like consistently don't get along. Like, they just change their mind on what buttons mean every time I do it. And so then I have to, like, do something, but I don't know what in order to get it to fix itself, and I don't know what it is. Why am I not streaming? Is that just me? Hello? I don't know if the stream just cut out for everybody. Probably it did. It was not my fault, I don't think. I think that was YouTube's fault. Does Dr. Cortex sound like Billy Zane? I don't know who Billy Zane is. Who's Billy Zane? Should I know Billy Zane? It doesn't feel like a thing that I know. Okay. What's this gonna do? Actually working now. No, why are you not working? I have to... What do I have to do here? Ugh! Oh, do I have to do this instead? Is that the problem? Like, when I push on the buttons, it doesn't do the right thing. I know that I'm being really stupid at the moment, but it's like... So here's what happens. Like, my EPSXE, you know, does not... Hello, Proto-Sam. Yes, I do not know who Billy Zane is, I guess. Oh, he's the Karate Kid? Alright. Why? Oh, okay. Calm down. I need to chill out. My room is chilly, fortunately. I made my room very cold before I started streaming because I knew that later it would be very warm. So the problem that I have is that when I push on the directional arrows in EPSXE, it doesn't actually, like, do a thing. And I'm not sure why that is. So I have DS4 Windows running. If I close that, maybe stop. I'm gonna click stop. So the problem is that it like attaches different buttons to my. It just like attaches the unknown action to my arrow keys. Like I'm pushing buttons now, and it just says J1 unknown in my thing, and that's stupid, and I don't know why. Anyway, so happy Monday. I did not do much with my Monday. I was waiting for a package to arrive, and then once it arrived, I did not do much. Okay. So I do that. I do this. But if I... Dual shock? Does this change anything? It does not change anything. There's like dual analog and dual shock, but both of them behave the same way. I want to do that. So what was in my package was a $2,500 camera. So I am renting a camera from, Borrow Lenses, which I am renting a Panasonic GH5, which is their newest model of, I think, the camera that Jay Kraken had at VidCon last year. And so I'm renting it because it does HDR now, and as Jose remembers from when I was in San Bruno last, YouTube has a significant investment in HDR, which is a technology to allow you to record and display imagery that is beyond the kind of typical range of what software these days will let you see. And so the goal is to be able to experiment with this camera to figure out if it's a good camera to recommend for people to use if they want to shoot HDR footage. So I'm borrowing it with the intention of, trying it out and seeing if it's a useful camera. And if so, then I will know, like, okay, we should tell people to use this. So, I am not getting paid. Hello, Van Helsing. Hello, everybody. I don't know. Well, to be clear, endorsements are not really nickel and dime. Like, there is a fair amount of money in endorsements, but I am not getting it. So let's see if this works any better, or if it's just stuck and I've got to figure out how to...
A Universal Interactive Studios production.
Oh, actually, I wonder if, okay, so if I close this, and I close this, and then I reopen DS4 Windows, is this going to work better this time? Because last time, I tried to configure this yesterday, and I had the exact same problem, that it was misbehaving in a way that I could not understand, and then it randomly fixed itself, so... Sorry, I'm trying to fix my controller here. Warning, could not open DS4, blah, blah, blah. Why not? Why could you not open that? You should be able to open it. There shouldn't be any reason you can't open it. Steam. No, Steam. Steam's not open. Nothing's open. Nothing should be taking control of it. Alright, let's try this again and see if it works better now. Config, gamepads, port 1, pad 1. Yeah, so I push the up button and nothing works. Watch the game's demos for 4 hours. That's right. You've got it. You know the score. I'm just trying to, like, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I can do that's going to, like, change how this configuration works, because nothing seems to be working. Okay, now it works. Okay, now it works. That was it. Unplug and replug into the USB port appears to be the trick. So, cool. I guess now I know. I don't know why that works, but whatever. And it's still confused. Like, it's still behaving in an odd way, but not in a way that's harmful anymore, so that's fine. Like, the buttons, which button is which kind of changes around slightly every time I configure this, and I do not understand why that is. Like, I assume that it's like a, Xbox versus PS4 controller thing, but whatever. Now it's configured, and we'll start again. Hello! We'll just pretend the stream worked. That was it. Everything's fine. Okay, so what is going on? I rented a lens to practice using the GH5 to shoot HDR and see if I can understand anything about it. Facecam should be here now. Hello? Is that me? Yeah? No? I don't know. Hi? Oh, okay. Don't do that. Don't do that, Blake. You're a jerk. You're being a jerk. I send you a book, and this is what you do to me? I tell you. I tell you, my friend. Alright, I can probably turn the game up a little bit more. Oh, not that much. That is really loud. Sorry, headphones users.
Press start to begin.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, so Jose, the reality is that I have all these different things, but I was trying to like talk to people beforehand and before I figured out that the controller is broken, and I thought it was going to be a lot faster to fix, honestly. So, normally I wouldn't have needed as much. I scared Murphy the pillow. Oh no! I don't care about the cutscene. Don't care about anything. Boop ba doop ba doo. Okay. I can jump. I can spin. Let's start it off. So, I have played Crash 1 and Crash 2 Cortex Strikes Back, but I have not beaten Cortex Strikes Back. I don't care about the cutscenes.
Why must you always muck in my...
Get out of here. I would say that my Crash skills are probably like a 6, maybe? So, as I pointed out, like, I finished Crash 1 in about a 5.5-hour stream, which is decent for me, you know, as a not super fast player of anything. And so I was able to do that. I did not finish Crash 2, and I was actually going to go back to Crash 2. The problem is that I realized that I did not actually save to either the memory card or a save state. Or if I did, it got lost somehow in the past, like, 6, 7, 8, 9 months. And so I did not actually have anything to go back to, and I was like, well, I'm not going to start over at the beginning of a game that I've already streamed, and so I went back to this instead. Which is fine. Oh, that was dumb. And so here we are playing Crash Bandicoot Warped, which is the third game in the series. I remember Crash Bandicoot Warped being longer and more difficult than Crash 2. So I will definitely not be finishing it tonight. But I wanted to go back to Crash. Soybomb has been playing some Crash Bandicoot, which is my kind of motivation. I've been thinking about going back to it for a while because I like platformers. They allow me to just kind of like talk, and we all know that I love to talk. And so I've been meaning to do it for a while, but Soybomb kind of gave me the impetus, so he's currently streaming his way through Crash 1 and hopefully enjoying it at least a little bit, although he seems to be a little bit down on it overall. Nice! He's a Bandicoot, yeah. I think a Bandicoot's a real animal, right? I mean, they don't wear pants in real life, but I think they do exist. I am 99% sure that my Crash was not save state free, because when do I ever do anything save state free? But the reality is that Crash is actually designed to be relatively, like, you don't get punished too much for failure. So unlike a lot of earlier games where I feel like they used the game here is to memorize the game aspect, I feel like in Crash there's a lot more, you're supposed to do something difficult, and it's supposed to be difficult because it's difficult, not because, you know, we made it artificially difficult. And so, yeah. Oh yeah, my completion percentage was what, like 36% or something? So overall, did you like it, Soy? I mean, I feel like you're a little bit down on Crash throughout the whole, like, you were talking about your reviews and everything else like that, so. But yeah, okay, so I rented the Panasonic GH5. I bought a Ricoh Theta S. So the Ricoh Theta S is the newer 360 spherical camera from Ricoh, and specifically it has the ability to do live streams. So you can do a spherical video live stream of an environment. And funnily, I bought this thinking like, oh, it'll be a good thing for the office. And then like when it arrived, I realized that the thing in the office that is labeled a Theta is actually a Theta S. So it also does live streaming. So I bought exactly the thing that we already had in the office for the office. So that was kind of foolish of me, but you know, people make mistakes. It happens. So I talked to one of my coworkers, and he was basically like, pretty much every time I ask our director, you know, should I buy this? His answer is, does it cost less than $10,000? If so, why are you bothering me by asking? Just do it. And so I took that as impetus to go ahead and do something. But instead of just buying a, you know, $3,500 camera kit and setup and everything else like that, he suggested that maybe I should borrow it from Borrow Lenses first and see what I thought about it. So that is what I'm doing. So Steve these days does a lot of video production and advice to video creators about creating HDR video and color grading and all these things to make great YouTube videos. So one of the things that Steven's really big on is basically that YouTube should be a platform that people can use to make the next big, you know, feature film and distribute it and everything else like that. So been a big driver of 4K, a big driver of VP9, a big driver of HDR, and advanced video in general, a little bit less on the VR/360 video front. But as a result, it means that he is a resource that is in the community respected on these matters, and so therefore having the experience of a camera to suggest is valuable. Currently, we have like a, you know, $37,000 Blackmagic camera that he's been using for this, and it's not that the Blackmagic camera is bad, but that the $37,000 camera is a little bit out of reach for the average YouTube creator, even one attempting to make a feature film on YouTube. Hello, Celso. Steve is Whiskey Man, Jose. Yes, Steve is the HDR guy. That's right. Well, yeah, I mean, it's just Crash. You go left, you go right, you dodge things, you shoot things. It's not that hard. Uh-oh, I missed a box somewhere. Oh, it's right here, maybe. There we go. YouTube can support HDR now, yes. So last year when I was in San Bruno, it could not, but now it does actually support HDR. However, you're only going to get the HDR effect on a limited set of display hardware. So HDR is one of the few areas where YouTube is actually, rather than leading the pack or following the pack, is leading the pack. So we are helping to design the specs. We are helping to describe how browsers should interpret it. We're, you know, doing all these things that are designed to actually lead the way on, oh, some woman is taking over, so. That's not true, Soy. Like, 100% completionist stuff is in all kinds of games, right? Like, you know, like, I mean, Mario 64 made the whole, like, you have to get every item literally part of getting 120 stars. So I disagree with that characterization. I guess I should have gone up, maybe? I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to know which way to go on those. I mean, where boxes are or items are. I feel like I said, like, the difference between boxes in Crash and coins in Mario is not compelling to me. Maybe you feel like that's an interesting distinction, but I don't feel like the distinction is meaningful. They're both just, you know, collectible items. The other thing is, did Spyro do boxes? I don't remember if they were boxes or something. Oh, shit! But I do feel like Spyro is another game that I think of as having that property of you're expected to get all of the things in it in order to be completionist. Damn. I mean, in general, Van, I think that overall this is a really common thing in TV, right? To have a main broadcast time and to rebroadcast the same content. So that seems reasonable, Jess. I mean, I think you're not going to regret not packing it all. I said I don't think anyone's going to really notice if you wear the same clothes for 5 days. I mean, I would say, like, you probably want to wear a dress tomorrow because it's going to be warm. And then just, like, toss another dress in your backpack. And a couple pairs of underwear and you're all set. Like, what's wrong with that? We don't need to get fancy. We're only out there for 5 days. That was close. I was like freaked out. I was like, oh god, I'm gonna get smushed. I missed the boxes. I really want the boxes. And then I realized that he stopped, so it's not that important. So did I thought I had masks at the end of that previous level with that woman, but I was gonna say chick, but I felt like that might be disrespectful. She's not a chick, she's a woman. I don't know where Jose is promoting me. I think Jess needs to be more clear in her criticism. You retweeted me, but I didn't even tweet. You have some good news, James Landry. What is your good news? Oh. Did I say something a few hours ago? I don't even know. I didn't talk about the stream at all today, because I was like, nope, we're not gonna... Oh, shit. I did not mean to hit that. I think the dinner thing, I think, is definitely your good deed of the day. James Laundry. Like, I feel like making chicken, whatever it is, chicken Puerto Rican, chicken, it's got a P in it somewhere, I feel like. Chicken pequeño, chicken something or other. Making chicken and, for a family which has recently lost a loved one, that feels to me like a good, you know, thing of the day. Oh, good. I was a little bit afraid there for a second that I wasn't going to be able to slide and that I had just, like, trapped myself, but I did not. I'm smart. Peruvian, there you go. Dude, James, that's awesome. So is that locked to a network, Soy? Is that what that means? Oh, god damn it. Alright. I think I got all the boxes so far, but I could be wrong. It'd be interesting to me to see like a no cheat speed run of this. Like, how long? What is the 100% no skip speed run record for Crash? Okay, I don't know if him crushing those boxes means the same thing. I think it does. Yeah, because he's gonna crush those nitro boxes, so I'm pretty sure it does. Oh no! Fuck. That's awesome, Soy. We've been slowly making progress on that in the States, but I don't think there's any... I know that there was progress on jailbreaking your phone not being a DMCA violation, so that's one thing, but I don't know about... I'm pretty sure provider locking is still, unfortunately, a thing in the US. In general, T-Mobile is pretty willing to unlock it for you, so... 23 minutes, wow. But is that so? I know that oftentimes there's like zips and skips and other things like that. But I don't know. Like, are there different categories like that? Oh, I still got the gem. Awesome. So James, what are you gonna do? Like, so does the Oculus VR connect to your computer? That's how that works, right? It's not. So the cell phone is. No, I didn't want to do that. Shit. Yeah, so with any percent, I feel like the problem is that a lot of the any percent runs are not. Is there like a way to get out of this? No, I have to do it again. Okay, well, let's do it again. This time we're gonna do it fast. Yeah, so a lot of the any percent speed runs end up doing like a bunch of cheats to get them through, right? It's like, oh, like you get to skip through 75% of the level or something else like that, which is, it's cool, but it's like a different game. And so that's why I oftentimes look to the 100% speed runs. I realize it's not the way I actually play, but it's closer than the ones that do all the skips. So, okay, 2 hours. 2 hours for 105% makes some sense. I mean, that certainly does include a lot of, like, rerunning the levels because they're probably including all of the time trials and everything else like that, but at least I can understand that. I can put that into a context. Oh, that's cool! I didn't realize that the Oculus VR headset worked with your phone. So I knew that the Gear VR headset did. I didn't know that the Oculus one did, so... So the little yellow boxes with numbers on them add time to your time trial run. So it takes time off or whatever. I mean, whatever. You understand what I mean? I cannot finish faster. That is incorrect. I appreciate your misplaced faith. Yeah, it pauses the clock for that number of seconds. That's the words I meant to say. So I think that the time trial to get the points on this one is 145, which it does not look like I'm going to make. Warp room. The vid's cut out. Yes, it has. Yeah, so these issues are on YouTube's side, pretty sure, so it is what it is. Okay, I have no idea what my goal is in this one. I can't, is this like is it a racetrack? Is it just like a completion track? I don't even know. True, it could be Brad-like issues. If you only get your news from Reddit, I feel sorry for you. Hank Green did post on Reddit just recently. So he was trying to do some VidCon prep. So he posted a thread on Reddit and said, hey, like, ask me questions that you think journalists might ask, and actually, like, gave some pretty insightful answers. Oh god, that was dumb. I was like, I see this coming and I can't do anything about it. God damn it! There is no reverse button on a jet ski, it turns out, much to my chagrin. But yeah, so he posted and got a fair number of decent questions as well as gave some decent answers, which is pretty cool. I'm looking forward to VidCon this week. We're leaving tomorrow at noon, and then coming down. We've actually got the Airbnb from Wednesday on, so Justin and I will be there for a day, staying out with another friend, and yeah. Wolf 3D, the new Wolf series is having a 2 come out, right? I heard about that. A bunch of people are upset because apparently you have to kill Nazis, and apparently this makes people upset now. I don't know when exactly it is that it became that killing Nazis is a thing that people get upset about. I don't care about you. I just don't, like, story is uninteresting to me. Unlike the zebra down there in the corner, he thinks story is very interesting. Yeah, I actually didn't even, like, sit down and write, like, a long description about this. So oftentimes my descriptions are, like, long stories about when I first played the game or anything else like that. I was just like, nope, I'm not interested. I'm just like, Crash Bandicoot and shit. That's right. You can boo all you want. Okay. Lions and tigers and bandicoots. Oh my. Oh, I can spin them out of the way. That's good to know. Games are now movies. I mean, some games are now movies. Like, if you look at, like, Until Dawn is clearly a movie. And that was actually the first game I saw like that, right? It's basically a series of QTEs interspersed with story, with long cutscenes in the form of story. Or if you look at, like, Minecraft Story Mode or any of the Telltale games, really, like, there's limited, you know, things that you can get. Oh, supercharged body slam. Press X button to jump and then circle at the top of the jump. Cool.
Well done, children.
All right. Weird mouse talking to me. Got it. I think Yahoo's a good place to get all your information from. That's correct, Blake. I'm testing a new feature, so you cannot rewind on stream. That's one of the reasons that, well, not really. But yeah, so in addition to it being not rewindable, you probably also have lower latency. So if you view stats for nerds, it probably tells you your latency is between, like, 3 and 8 seconds. Yeah, bada boop ba ba. I'm pretty sure the manager or the CEO of who took over. So if you've heard the Pop-Tart story, the CEO who took over for our corrupt mafia boss of a CEO actually used to work at Lycos. Is that the one with the dog? Lycos, go get it, right? So yeah, he worked at Lycos during the years that it had a dog mascot. So that was where Don worked at the time. I'm pretty sure Lycos was the dog. Lycos, go get it. That's what I remember. Those are the ads were like that. I have a lot of lives. I assume at some point I'm actually gonna die more than once, but so far I just seem to be accumulating lives. Oh god, don't do that. I didn't write a VidCon newsletter today. I guess I wrote my Sunday one late last night, so that's fine. So what would you want to know from VidCon? Like, if you're going to be in rooms with a lot of creators, like, are you interested in the trends in travel creators? Are you interested in cooking? Are you interested in live? Are you interested in esports? Like, which thing would you want to go see if you could pick, like, one topic to be interested in at VidCon? Chris the Bandicoot. I mean, that wouldn't have worked because I clearly didn't know how to Bandicoot before I played the game, silly soy. But yeah, so I appreciate you inspiring me with a game to play. I've had Warped on the back burner because I never finished Cortex Strikes Back and I wasn't having a lot of fun with it as far as I remember, but given an excuse, I was happy to take it up. I am innately good at bandicooting. I mean, I'm not sure about that. I feel like it was a learned skill. I had a lot of years to play this, so I don't care. Just get out of here. I mean, it's not clear to me that you like the game, so I don't think it's a necessary skill for you. Oh shit! I'm missing that crate at the bottom. Oh well, whatever. My level of caring is only moderate. When I get to the end of the level and there are like 99 out of 100 boxes, I'm gonna be like, ah, stupid. But yeah, so I went out today and bought 228 gig SD cards, each of which cost me 50 bucks, which is kind of crazy. The fact that I can store like 128 gigabytes of information literally like on my pinky finger for $50 is kind of nuts. That is not something that I would have kind of really expected ever. I mean, I realize that we're kind of getting close to the limits of physics. You know, that we can't. I mean, I don't know. I don't know at this point. Every time I feel like I say we're getting close to the limits of physics, someone goes and like changes the physics. One of the interesting things actually about, you know, having a smartphone in your pocket is that you've actually got technology based on two different theories of physics. So you've got, like, GPS works based on the theory of general relativity, because the GPS is basically done by triangulation of, like, speed of light transmission of radio transmission, I believe. While SD cards are based on, like, quantum tunneling. Like, SD storage technology is based on quantum tunneling. Something along those lines. I'm not much of a physics person, but this is what the physics people who in my life have mentioned to me. And those are two, like, competing theories of how the world works, both of which seem to work and be on my phone. This is one of the ways in which physics is different than, you know, other genres, I guess. In the reason that physics isn't pure mathematics is that sometimes your shit has to work. And so these, you know, two different competing theories are both used on my phone to make it so I can figure out where I am and store data, which is interesting. So yeah, at VidCon I will be doing little mini interviews with people is my plan. So I will be doing like 5-minute live streams several times throughout the conference with... Oh god, why did I not think that through? Like, I could have walked around that box instead of through it. That would have been a smarter idea. So I will grab random creators from the hallway and be like, hey, do you want to do a live stream? Like, tell me what you think about VidCon so far. Tell me about this. Tell me about that. And see if I can interest people in participating. Oh wow, I was nowhere close, so it must be a secret somewhere in that level that I missed. Anybody still here? Hello? Yes, it is! Okay, good, Soya's still here. Everyone else has wandered off, but... Okay, good. I know I'm just babbling, and that's fine. I just want to, like... I worry when things get quiet for a while, like, oh shit, I broke it again. Like, it looks fine, but maybe it's not fine. I definitely did a lot, like, the later motorcycle races, I remember doing a lot of trying to get in first on them. I don't remember if it was in order to get the time trial or if it was just in order to beat them, but I definitely spent a lot of time on these stupid races, trying to do just right, and memorizing and figuring out the tightest corners to cut. And of course this was all before you could just watch a YouTube video to see the ideal path through, so I was like working it all out, and man, I just spent so many hours. There'll be AFW, America's Funniest Home Video? No, that doesn't work. Anime Fan Wankery? No, that's probably not it. Anime Fandom West. America's Freezing Winter. Nope, it's summer. I'm kind of at a loss. I need help. Help me! Help me. Oh, help me. Oh, I got a box thing. Wankery. That's right, Chris GC8, just for you. That is true, Chris GC8. That is how you get a lawsuit on your hands. I mean, the reality, Soy, is that if you want a soy-appropriate stream, I might not be the ideal place to go, as you probably know. So that's all right. But yeah, short of socks, I think I have actually packed everything up. I did do a brief 360-degree spherical stream of my office earlier, which was not at all interesting. I have an expensive camera that I'm renting on behalf of work. I've got chargers for all of my stuff. I have my selfie stick for my phone, both the normal variety and the what was it? Words. Oh, I've also got the gimbal. So I've got 2 different selfie sticks for my phone. I've got my tripod with the normal tripod mount. Got a whole bunch of things. So in the political sphere today, we've got the Republican senators have realized that telling the American people what they plan to do when kicking tens of millions of them off their healthcare is a bad idea politically. So their plan is to not do it. An interesting thing today is that the Senate Democrats actually have been doing a hold the floor. So they're like, you know, when I started my stream, we're something like 3 or 4 hours into basically just making this whole list of resolutions, which come down to Republicans are being fucking douchetards about this entire process, which they are, being entirely douchetards. Even if you support what they're doing, you have to admit that, like, creating a healthcare bill with no public, you know, visibility into what's going on is a douchetard move. And so they have been basically like standing there and making these statements like, I just want to make a resolution that says the Republicans are being douchetards and they should stop. And Mitch McConnell will say, I object. And because Mitch McConnell represents the majority party on these matters that can't be filibustered, the expectation is like, well, he can just speak for the whole thing. And so rather than having to do a voice vote or anything else like that, they've just got one guy. The president accepts all these objections and then says, does anyone object? And then Mitch McConnell says, I object. And then they move on to the next person. So the whole thing is a bunch of theater, but it does point out the fact that, you know, there's really this whole, like, massive sweeping healthcare reform that not like a majority of people does not support in a single state. And they're just, like, sitting there and taking it, and I don't understand that at all. Oh god. Shit. So unfortunately, Soy, I don't think that I can give you what you want to know without foul language, because at this point, foul language is well deserved on the role of one of the political parties in this country. James, I don't understand your statement. Steve Scalise that was shot is my parish rep. I don't know what parish rep means in this case. Steve Scalise is a Republican from Louisiana? Is that right? Or something else like that? I mean, give us the language is exactly what many people have been saying to Mitch McConnell for the past several weeks. See, now I'm using up some of those lives. I think this is the first time I've died more than once. Give us the language is what many people want to know about the healthcare reform bill. It is absolutely ridiculous that such an important bill is effectively being hidden from the public. Sorry, that was probably... No, that was okay. Yeah, I know parish is Louisiana for country, so I was thinking maybe that's why he was mentioning Scalise was my parish rep. But he's not mine. I'm from Massachusetts, so... Yeah, my senators are Warren and Markey, and my local rep is, oh, fuck. Oh, God, I'm blanking on his name. Jess, help me out. Who's our house rep? Oh, I feel terrible. He's in my phone. I call him once a week or so. Capuano, there you go. Thank you. Michael Capuano. Hopefully. I think that's his name. Hey, Rachel! Welcome, welcome. Why do Wise have to know everything? I mean, you don't have to know everything, but you do know everything, so... Also, I just tried to use my second analog stick to change my view. It did not work, in case you were curious. Oh, no! I was thinking that he wasn't there anymore. It wasn't going to drop any more things. God damn it. I mean, Jess is my rep for this house, but not for the U.S. House of Representatives. Fuck. Alright, I'm definitely going to use up a lot of my lives on this level, so that's good. Does that work? I mostly don't make commands for people, which maybe is rude of me, but... What? I hit him in the side! How is he... Fine. I'll just walk right by you, stupid flamethrower man. See what you feel about that. Oh god. There we go. Alright. Let's see if I can get to a checkpoint so that I don't die. And have to go back and do that again, because clearly I'm not very good at it. Whoa, fuck. Ah! Hey, but you killed a small gas spore there, Soy, so, you know, you got something going for you. I am a modern major general. Alright, Crash, do your Crash dance. What? Oh, he doesn't do his Crash dance today, apparently. I don't know how to tell when that's going to happen or not, so... Midnight Run. Jess is also not a fan of real vegetables, since she grew up for the first, 15 years of her life approximately without having seen a green vegetable, as her parents were 17 years into parenting by the time she was born, so they were not big on the whole we're cooking dinner every night, everything else like that thing. My experience is that getting Jess to eat vegetables is quite difficult. Quite a challenge, one could say. Oh. I don't know how I was supposed to get that second extra life, but I kind of wanted it. Oh. So it goes. Can't win them all. Let's live in Pleasantville. They do win them all. They have always won them all. Thanks for subscribing, Chris. Okay, watch out, radioactive man. Here we go. Watch out, radioactive man. Up and at them. Up and at them. Oh, give a shout out to Lisa Moran. It's her birthday and I'm her favorite YouTuber. I do not believe that. I know, it is Chrisception. Jimmy Jillikers, Chris. I'm questioning your statement, Lisa Moran. You gotta give me more information to convince me. I mean, that's me being a jerk. I shouldn't be a jerk. Lisa, happy birthday. I hope that you have a lovely day. Okay, I don't get it. Is there a boss here or what? I got like, oh, I didn't get the, oh, I have to come in first. Okay. It should not be that difficult to come in first on this particular one because I came in second last time and I spent the first 30 seconds sitting at the line. Oh no, you were bidding on Burger Time. Why were you bidding on Burger Time? As much as I enjoy Burger Time, it is not the type of game that I feel like I would really feel the need to have a physical cartridge of. Like, I can understand Zelda, like original, like, Zelda, perhaps with a replaced battery or something else like that. Like, I can imagine, you know, Metroid or these other games, like, which were frankly much more common and therefore easy to get. Burger Time is cute. It's a fun game. I just don't think of it as, you know, being. I mean, I mean, this is. I don't know. Maybe I've just got people who love me. Maybe that's it. But in any case, Lisa, happy birthday. If you're out there in YouTube land, this particular game and run is for you. Well, no, not this one. This one was bad. We'll do a better one, and then we'll have it for you. Alright, fair enough. I mean, if Burger Time is one of your favorite games, it's one of your favorite games. Don't get me wrong. I feel like I would go for more of the classics. I was looking for, you know, a physical cartridge, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Okay, so I do have to get to the boss. I am missing the pink crystals, so I'm assuming that in order to get to the boss, I need to get those. I wonder if there's a way to, like, speed up, because I don't feel like I'm doing that. 3, 2, 1, go! Because I know the green things I hit speed me up. There's that, right? Hit these. Ah. That's the trick. If you never run into anything, then you just stay in the air the entire time. So hit one of the green speedy things, and then just go past everybody. Got it. There we go. Lisa, that one is for you on your birthday. I don't know what a Billy Hatcher is. Never heard of that either. Is that like Billy Zane? I've never seen Karate Kid, by the way, so.
Right. Now you've gone and done it.
That's right, I have gone and done it. Come on, bring it on. Well, I'm glad, Chris Putinata. Putinta. Putinta. It's like the Russian version of something or other. I don't know. Oh god. Oh, hi. I feel like that's trouble. Alright, that did not go so well as I thought. I am going to take that for a little while at least. I mean, evidence seems to support that I'm going to take it for a while. Alright, what are you going to do? I don't see a way through these things, so... Oh, God! Okay, so now I know he's going to shoot fire at me. That's good. That's right. Keep blowing away your defenses. I enjoy that. Uh-oh. Oh. Well, that's no fair. I was thinking he was gonna, like, leave open defenses for later, so I didn't have to do anything, but no. Turns out that all these defenses he destroyed are just gonna magically come back because this is the way we play the game, apparently. Fine, then. Mr. Angry Pig Hippo. Have I played this game, Victor? When I was a kid. So I played it probably last in 97, 98. Does that make sense? I actually don't know what year it came out, but it was on PlayStation, so something like that. It might have been 99, 2000. So like 15, 20 years ago, somewhere in there. Uh-oh. I was like, shit, I am trapped inside with all of the badness. 1998. Okay, so like 98, 99 is probably when I played it. This is one of the, like, when this game came out, we already had a PlayStation, so I probably would have bought it around the time it came out or gotten it in that year-ish, as opposed to having to get a new system. So a lot of the earlier games on the NES I didn't get until years later because we didn't have an NES when it came out. We got our NES in 1988. And so, like, December of 1988. So a lot of the earlier NES games I would have played later. And the same with the Sega Genesis, if I remember correctly. I was never a Spyro kid. I never had Spyro as a kid, I don't think. I could be misremembering, but the first time I remember playing Spyro was when I played it on stream. Oh, God. Alright, take him out.
You thrashed me, mate. No worries, but you'll soon be up against much
Double
worse.
jump. Anyway, thanks Mikey L the Gamer for stopping by. And Victor, of course. Alright, I think we're gonna turn the zebras off for now. Oh. I pushed the zebra button. I was like, why are there still zebras on my stream? And then I realized like, there's a delay. Like, of course there is. I'm an idiot. Never played Glover either. Uh-oh, I lost my headphones. No, come back, headphones!
Marsupials. I am Dr. Nefarious Tropy,
Right.
master of time and creator of...
Blah, 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 blah. I'm thirsty. Aha! I have double jump. This is excellent. There's a Bandicoot fish. Get out of here, Bandicoot fish. Oh, that was not the right way to do that, but okay. So Chris GC8, as someone who will not be making it to VidCon this year, what is the biggest question that you would have that you would want to see asked of anyone who might be at VidCon? That could be YouTube employees, that could be creators, that could be, you know, industry experts and organizers. Like, do you want to know more about the future of YouTube as a replacement for TV? Do you want to know more about live? Do you want to know more about how gaming is going to proceed, or how, you know, PewDiePie is going to incite the next Wall Street Journal article bashing the traditional or the non-traditional media? There's all kinds of different things I could ask. I don't think that's cheesy at all. I think live is actually a really interesting kind of development. I think that at the moment we're still at the forefront of seeing live in the hands of individual creators and doing anything interesting with it. I think that, you know, Twitch is all well and good, but the reality is that Twitch is not, like, Twitch has for a long time, until the last few years. Oh, I can body slam these things. I get it. Boom shakalaka. So I would say that's a totally reasonable question. I don't know that anyone's going to have good answers yet. Oh yeah, so here's teaching me that I should body slam. I have a slight problem. Okay, there we go. I was gonna say, like, how am I supposed to get those? They're in midair. I cannot body slam through into the pit. That seems bad. But yeah, so I think that there was a little bit of a question of live to Hank in the AMA that he was doing. And I think that he basically concentrated on live as a way to interact more with fans, which it certainly is. Like, I think in the short term, that's going to be a really useful approach, is that people are going to do Q&As, and they're going to do other things like that. But I do think that there's an interesting story beyond the interactive aspect with fans. I think that, you know, Katy Perry's Witness event, regardless of it being a, you know, creator who maybe I don't have a particular affinity for, really demonstrated that there's a lot of room to do something different with live content. You know, no one before has done anything like a live Big Brother house. No one has done something where they have all these different people coming in and everything else like that. Hey, Preston. Mike, you are totally welcome to get a hug. Just if I'm carrying an expensive looking camera, like just be like, hey, camera goes away, and I'll be like, all right, Mike EL the gamer hug is coming in hot. God damn it! Why did I go for that stupid thing? Hello, Game Dojo. You can't get it down to 0, but I think Hangouts like latency is possible. I really do think it's actually interesting that Mixer. So after Mixer did their rebrand, I was talking to another somebody in the community, and he pointed out that they've got like a mission statement, and their mission statement is like, we don't want to be the biggest, we don't want to be, you know, we're not. That's not our goal. Our goal is to be the best for interactivity. And I thought that was really interesting, and it actually caused me to reach out to the YouTube gaming team and say, like, hey, like, we want to be the best for interactivity in streams is actually a really solid and easy mission statement, and kind of lines up with everything they're doing. Their co-streaming and their all of these other things are all targeted at that one single goal. And it also explains why, like, being the biggest is not necessarily, you know, for individual viewership is not necessarily their goal, and it fits in with the Xbox model of Xbox Live. Like, it just fits everything about their overall approach, and really makes them a good fit for Microsoft and Xbox. Why don't we have a good statement like that? Like, why is it that so many people just compare us to Twitch? Because I know that we don't want to just be seen as like Twitch 2.0, or at least I'm pretty sure that if that's our only goal, we're not doing very well at it. And so, like, what is the mission statement there? So it'll be interesting to see how you know, YouTube gaming continues to present itself as time goes forward, and these different players kind of establish themselves in the marketplace. Eric, how's it going? Well, the problem, Mike Yale the Gamer, is that usually what happens with latency is that, like, the expectation is that YouTube will continue delivering your feed all the way up through what you finish broadcasting, even if you do click stop streaming. Okay, so I can't do that. I was thinking those things like sucked you in and I could kind of like swim out of it, but no, as soon as you touch them, you are dead. Hyper chat. Well, so I actually found I don't remember who I was talking to, but a friend of mine actually got recruited to work at a company that was basically Piper Chat. I feel like we were talking about it on Discord at one point. Yeah, so like you look at their app and it's a bunch of like teenage girls who are using it to chat about things, and they've got like 8 people on the screen at a time, and it'll be like, wow, this is so much better than FaceTime when you have all these people. And I swear to God, like their homepage demo reminded me so much of Piper Chat. I actually went to Jess and I was like, okay, what does this demo remind you of? She's like, I don't know, FaceTime? I said, isn't it Piper Chat? She's like, yeah, I guess so. I think it's about 5 minutes if you don't change anything. I think the video, it's like 5 or 6 minutes, or historically was. But yeah, certainly lower latency dojo continues to be a goal. So as I mentioned earlier, like I'm testing. The reason I don't have DVR on my streams at the moment is because I'm actually testing like a lower latency mode, the same one that Barb has been testing for a while. But the reality is that even in its current configuration, it isn't what we intend to give to users because the latency is still too high. So there's still more that we expect to pull off of that. And so if you look at like a mobile live stream, in general, you're looking at about 3 to 4 seconds. Like I think like 25% of playbacks are at less than 3 seconds of end-to-end latency, and that's not enough. But it does get to be the point where there are other things that get in the way, right? If chat from the time you send a message takes 3 seconds to show up, then having less than 3 seconds of end-to-end latency for the video ends up being less important. So you have to do something better than that. So. Yes, exactly, Chris GC8. Hey, Nico, how's it going? Yeah, I'm curious too. So we still have one more episode in the season, is that right? It feels like we're coming to the end of like Hoolicon, and they hit their numbers, and we've got, you know, whatever. Oh, sorry, spoilers. Ignore what I just said. They need to hit their numbers. Hoolicon, and they need to hit their numbers, and so on. Do I see numbers after closing my eyes at night? Sometimes I do. Well, so Cryo, the way you get down to 3 is to stream on mobile. So standard latency. So there's 2 things. One, you should make sure you check the low latency option. If you're using Stream Now, it's by default. If you're using events, you have to set it every time. So that is the first thing. Like low latency mode is going to pull you from 30 seconds of end-to-end latency to more like 10. 2, streaming at higher resolutions does have higher latency. That's a practical reality of life, and I don't think that anything in the short term is going to really change that. It can be less, and we continue to work on making it less, but streaming at 720p 30 rather than 1080p 60 is going to have, you know, a reduction of like 2 seconds of latency. 3, there are options that YouTube is working on that will lower that even more, so that you'll be more in the 2 seconds range than in the you know 10 seconds range. But at the moment, I'm testing those options, and you can probably right-click on the player and see what the latency is, and it probably says something like 5 seconds or 9 seconds or something like that at the moment. So, so somewhere in there is kind of where we are. I don't know how much of this is just my internet is crap. My internet in my office, unfortunately, has been very poor recently. So it's fine for streaming because it's only like establishing connections that isn't working. But because like watching live streams is establishing lots of little connections, it means that I'm actually unable to watch live streams with reasonable latency at the moment. So yeah, no, low latency is the right option. So 3 second latency is still a thing of the future, not the present. Yeah. So I think the buffering there, I don't know if the buffering there was me or was YouTube. There was an issue earlier tonight that I'm pretty sure was YouTube, so I wouldn't rule it out. Always more to work on. Always more to do. So yeah, 4 seconds is pretty good. Yeah, so Nico is kind of expressing the other half of that. So when you remove the DVR option from streams, when you buffer, the player will jump back to the head by default. So it's not going to... Normally when you buffer, you're going to pause, and then you're going to pick up back where the buffer started. In the case of these no DVR streams, that isn't the case, and so with no DVR streams, I end up in a situation where if you have poor internet, you don't have the ability to kind of allow it to recover and just like watch off head. So that's a thing where we need to work on making the experience for people with kind of crappy or marginal internet be better by giving more adaptive read ahead and not jumping all the way back to head. So, hey Lumi. Yeah, so Leif, I would expect that my stream is very similar to Barbara's at the moment, and I think one of the reasons... Now, I don't know that we'll see this before we roll it out to users first, but because the reality is that I think we need to have more people who are using these low latency streams for non-mobile content before... that makes sense, but one of the things that you need to do is actually provide a reasonable viewing experience for users with crappy internet. So my rebuffer time on my last stream, which was demoing this feature, was like 3.5%, when normally it's like 1.2%. So people spent 3 times as much time staring at a buffer spinner as they did in previous streams of mine. Now, I think that some of that was YouTube issues and not directly the, just the latency changes, but it is a concern. Oh, if you're on hotel internet, then you don't even count. As much as I love to provide a good experience for anyone, watching on hotel internet is never going to be productive. Watch at 140p and pray are your options. In reality, the HTML5 adaptive bitrate algorithm was largely built on by the developer while traveling on hotel internet in Asia, and we basically had to spend 3 years adjusting things to be slightly more aggressive because building something that is designed for the hotel internet use case is so like aggressively conservative in upscaling and everything else like that it's hard to know. Yeah, Mikey Elder Gamer, are you not in our VidCon chat thing? Oh, you're probably not. Yeah, so hit that up. I'm not going, but I expect a lot of other people will be. I am going to VidCon, I'm not going to that event. Fuck! But yeah, Mike, the link got passed around in our there's a Twitter DM for people who are going to be at VidCon, and the link got passed around there, but did not make it to a much broader audience. So. I mean, so Nico, I think that it's totally reasonable to say it's pretty good, but the requirements for live, especially on this particular stream, are just high. Like the reality is that hotel internet fails in exactly the way that makes live difficult. So it fails actually in a very similar way to the way that my office internet fails at the moment, which is that it tends to be that you have very high variance on kind of initial connection opening. And so with live streams, that's bad because every second, in order to watch the stream, you have to make 2 new HTTP requests. And generally speaking, they will reuse connections and everything else like that, which is good, but it still means that you are making these new connections every time, as opposed to establishing a connection and downloading a whole lot of bytes, which is what a non-live stream can do. So a non-live stream is going to download data in you know, 2 meg chunks, and you know, but a live stream has to download a lot of really small chunks, and so that variance on requests is really kind of killer. But I also admit fully that I am currently using a configuration which is trading off reliability for latency, which I'm still a bit iffy on whether that's the right choice for my content, because honestly I spend most of my time ignoring you all, as you all know. So it's a question for me of like, is this the right thing to do for my content? But as someone who works on video infrastructure and is interested in developing and testing these features to make sure that they're as good as they can be before they ship them, it is the right thing. Hey Brad, how's it going? Yeah, generally, I mean, it's a little bit hard to say, Chris GC, it's more complicated than that, but yes, in general I would say that, like, you know, specifically I would say loss affects live a lot more. Like intermittent packet loss affects live a lot more, and that tends to be one of the most common failure modes of hotel internet, because bad wireless connectivity ends up presenting as intermittent packet loss. So packet loss and like ping times are the two things I would say are most impactful for live. And that's for watching live, not for broadcasting live. For broadcasting live, because you've got this one long-lived TCP connection that's doing RTMP, it generally is about your overall throughput. So you're able to, so like I have on a ping test on my machine right now, I will probably have somewhere between like 10% and 20% packet loss. But that has no effect on my live performance, because that all of those losses are only like in establishing connections and not in actually streaming data. So my speed test is fine and everything else is fine because those are downloading over established connections that are long-lived. But the loss is very important when I'm trying to load web pages or anything else like that. So basically, like every message I send for Discord has about a 20% chance of displaying like as a gray message for 2 seconds before it actually goes through. Hey, Some Gamer Man, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. It's interesting to me, like I pick up vocal mannerisms from other people. And this is like a thing I've always done, but I am always interested to actually think it through and think about where I picked them up from. So like the welcome is absolutely to me a Barb thing. Like that's, I assume that I got it from her. And then I will, I don't know. There's lots of little vocal tics. Yeah, and so Leif, like if you for example, like if you do a manual like quality selection on a live video to like 144p, it will actually download like 15 minutes of the video, because it will download up to like 25 megabytes or something like that. There's some limit built into the browser for how much data you can request, but it'll download a bunch of data all at once, up to the point of your 25 mega limit, which will in some cases be like 10-12 minutes of video, and will let you just play the whole video without internet at that point. I don't know if it will actually play if you turn your internet off, but like that's the general, like if your network sucks, that will still work. And so with live, of course, you've got this constant like stream of small requests, so even if you're watching at 144p, you still got to do that. So yeah, this race is not doing so well. So Victor, the problem is that I think that moving on to more recent video frames isn't how MPEG-Dash streams work. So they are like I have to get a particular chunk downloaded before I can play the next one. It doesn't have functionality to skip ahead in the player. So my like I need to get every one of my requests through in order to work. But I will admit, Wi-Fi is one of the things that I don't fully understand. What I understand is that hotel wireless tends to, as far as I can tell, have intermittent packet loss. And intermittent packet loss seems to be a very bad case for live video in particular. Oh, there's an alien on the left side of the course in the beginning. Oh, the alien sign, the one I just... Oh, that one that I just drove past and missed. Okay. What does that do? Does that, like, skip me ahead a bunch or something? Ah! Fuck! Oh, interesting. Damn. I was hoping that, like, with my, you know, wheelie boost, I would be able to just, like, roll right over that desert, but it did not work out as I had hoped. So I think that what I actually need to do is to hit that boost and then avoid the jumps, because when I hit the jumps, I lose the boost. So I can hit the second one, but for that first one, I feel like I should, well, I think it's the second one actually. The first one leads directly to the ramp that I need to get over the pit. The second one leads to an area where I've got a long stretch of road with nothing. And then the third one I need to hit. There's like 3 more right after that, so I can just stay on them. But yeah, Chris Juicy, I used to have to turn on a proxy for work at Nokia all the time, and the number of times that I would forget that I had the proxy on, or it wouldn't change when I changed networks like it was supposed to, or other things like that, and I spent a long time figuring out like, what the hell is wrong with my internet? Well, what was wrong with my internet was entirely like, you have a proxy on that your stupid computer can't reach, you moron. Was too damn high, as they say. Ah! Timed that wrong. Okay, so there's this, and there's another restaurant at the end of the universe. Maybe not. Hold on 1 second. Sure. Oh, sorry. Did not see here. I don't know what's going on. I don't feel like I have. Okay. I'm going the wrong way. Okay, I got eaten. I don't think I want time trial mode. I think that was a mistake. I'm feeling sort of like I don't understand what's going on with Stuart. Am I the only one here? Okay, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. I feel like Stuart is what would happen if you tried to train a chatbot on like the average YouTube gaming commentator and then have it spew random words into my chat. I'm not sure I feel about that. The correct answer to that would be, tell me what you think about being a bot. But Stuart, stop being a douche. I'm not pleased with your douche hattery. I don't know. I mean, it's not like remastering this game would be hard. I think there's a question of whether you think it's a like useful or interesting thing to do. And I think, you know, Crash is fun. I really actually kind of enjoy the fact that there's a trend of bringing back games that I enjoy for a new generation of people who haven't played them before. It feels reasonable to me. FPS, solid. It's, you know, it's good. They're not feeling constrained by the requirements of the modern, you know, computing era. They're sticking to their roots. I applaud them for that. Not really. Obviously, I feel like 60 FPS. I mean, I honestly don't like things in 60 FPS personally, but I do understand that this is like the de facto standard at this point. So. Like, I just don't know where to go in this level. I'm assuming there must be like an exit of some kind, but it's just like feels like a giant maze. At one point I did find like the nitro blow up box, but I don't know where it was. The cinematic feel, there you go. I don't know, I know nothing about it really, but so cinematic stuff, like, so I've been using DaVinci Resolve, which is like like attempting to be a pro level color grading tool. I don't know if it is or not because I don't do color grading that much, but it seems like it's kind of commonly used, so we'll go with that. But its default output is like 24 FPS. Is 24 FPS like a traditional like cinematic frame rate that people use? Like, is that why it's a thing, or what is with the choice of 24 versus 30 versus 48 versus 60? Like, I don't fully understand like what informs those choices. And then there's also like 3 different 4Ks. There's like 4K, and then there's like Cinema 4K. Okay, so this is the box. So I think the problem that I have here is that I can't see the menu because I think my start button is messed up. And I don't know. Okay, just 1 second. I think I did not successfully configure my start button, so I'm going to do that. Sorry about that. Gamepads. There we go. Hot cocoa, but I just realized that I can exit to the warp room now that I have fixed my controller. So that was smart of me. Excellent. No, it's no worries, Eric. Yeah, so we're out of hot cocoa and back to this road rash level. What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man, mighty, mighty good man. So I think that I want to avoid taking any turns like hard enough to kind of burn out like that. That's my understanding, because I feel like that slows me down. Soda's driving off the road, of course, so gotta balance. Ah! Okay. Made it across that leap. And into second. And into first. I just gotta hold this position. Baby, baby, hold together. Mr. CPG is exhausted from a long day of doing good deeds for others, including myself. And is stressed about leaving behind our 16-year-old daughter to fend for herself for like 36 hours. And I did it. Woo! Yeah. It's amazing what happens when I actually pay attention to what I'm doing. So yeah, so we're leaving for LA tomorrow around noon, and so we're leaving. Our daughter still has like 1 day of school left after we leave, and so she's going to have to wake up on her own and go to finals, which I think we're both a little bit worried about because Julianne is not well known for her skill at waking up. But I think that she'll be fine. It's been a slightly stressful day as Julianne did not finish her like final that's due for her jewelry making class, and needs like a jewelry making drill press in order to finish it. And I'm like, you know, this assignment you've had for weeks, like this has to be, you cannot. You may not have time in like if you are taking a final, you won't have time to complete it. So hopefully she will be fine and figure that out. But that was a little bit stressful. Fuck! I was not thinking that through. I mean, none of them are Leif, but in this case, the reality is that I have been waking Julie up every morning. Even, like, I stream until 1:15 in the morning. I, like, am in bed and asleep usually by 2, and then I wake up at 6:15 in order to drag her out of bed on Tuesday mornings. Like, this is how I live my life, and I think that there are many people who would say that is a little bit silly. To the nines! How's it going? Oh no! Was it on a live stream? What'd you get a strike from? Yeah, I mean, Soy Mom, this is one of those things that, like, as a parent, I am, you know, allowing to continue to happen. So I do not think that Julianne does not have the ability to get herself out of bed, but the fact that I have been doing it for the past 10 years, like, for a long time, the problem was that, like, I had to get up and be around anyway, because she was, like, too disorganized to actually put herself together before school. And so even if she had woken up on her own, it was like she was going to be late to school if I didn't help her get stuff ready anyway. Which is just a side effect of, like, a long-standing executive function issues that we know she has and need to work on. So if you look at your... So it was removed due to copyright. So you sure that it was a copyright strike versus a global content ID block? Hey, Gadget Gaming, how's it going? Ugh, sucks. I hate that I hate that there is so much abuse of the, like, live system for streaming copyrighted content. That means that we have to be, like, super aggressive with people who accidentally, like, get in trouble. Okay, so it's a strike. I would say, so if you cannot figure out, like, what you got a strike on, do you know which video you got a strike on, at least? You should be able to submit, like, if you don't think you used anyone's copyrighted content, you should be able to submit a counter notification. Like, I don't believe that I... Oh, I'm sorry, Brad. Give a Brad sad face. Okay. Yeah, so... If you believe in your heart of hearts that there is no... So copyright strikes don't tell you what the content was. You can find out who the claimant was, and it should... I think usually they tell you, like, the name of the claimant, but there's no system in the DMCA that says, like, you have to specify XYZ for what the content is. You just say, I believe this is my copyrighted content. If you believe it wasn't, then the countering is the right thing to do. Countering should, I believe, as soon as the counter is processed by YouTube, which should be relatively quick, it will cause the restriction on live streaming to be removed. But it totally sucks to lose the ability to live stream like the day before VidCon. Well, thanks! Yeah, I've played the Crash 1 and 2, but I haven't played Crash 3 before on stream, so it was one that I felt that I should get to. Gaming Lawyer, how's it going? But yeah, so the counter notification requirements are, you know, I believe under penalty of perjury that there has been a misidentification of copyrighted material, and in your case, you know, given that you are streaming content to which you do not believe that contains any copyrighted material, I would say that's an easy claim for you to make. So normally when Gaming Lawyer is here, we do something a little bit special. Oh.
Brian Wilson, Texas Law.
That was stupid. Here, look at my playlist. That's a great thing. So this is what I get for not setting up things well before my stream. Oh, my VLC was minimized. Alright. Now, are you gonna... There we go. Try it again.
Brian Wilson, Texas Lawhawk! Brian Wilson, the Texas Lawhawk! Talons of justice! Due process! Do wheelies! It's hot out here! Brian Wilson! El Halcon de la Ley! Brian Wilson! The Texas Lawhawk!
Yeah, so Brian Wilson, the Texas Lawhawk, is everyone's favorite lawyer. Criminal defense lawyer, I think, based in Texas, and his you know, talons of justice is a great catchphrase, I feel like. So, Gaming Lawyer felt so as well. And so every time Gaming Lawyer stops by the stream, we celebrate with our brief memorial for Brian Wilson, the Texas Lawhawk. Thanks a lot, Soybomb. Have a good night. To the nines, what's the claimant name? Do you remember off the top of your head, or no? Unlike Content ID, DMCA claims can be abused or misused. More often I see them misused, that is, I see people making stupid mistakes in what they claim, than I see them being abused. Usually there isn't intention attached to those types of mistakes. Which does not mean they couldn't be. God damn it. So Comso GmbH. So GmbH is a German company. So the Comso is not a name I recognize. They probably just screwed up. It's not a Content ID claim, Sal. It's a copyright strike. So he just needs to issue a DMCA counter notification if he believes that it's inaccurate. Like, it is also the case that misrepresentation in a DMCA claim is like under penalty of perjury, and there is actually one case where a soccer mom type was able to, with the help of the EFF, pursue a claimant for not considering fair use in their DMCA claim. And is so far is winning, but unfortunately that's probably not really worth the effort in this case. It's also not like there's so much about video gaming that's like up in the air in terms of copyright law that I would be like wary to get involved with like anything gaming related as far as a test case. So I will say that oftentimes these like copyright management organizations are intentionally kind of behind the scenes-ish, so they don't want to be known for anything, and so they will have kind of shell companies in front of shell companies, and it doesn't necessarily mean they're sketchy, it just means that they are typically acting on behalf of third parties. Yeah, so a third-party takedown service is like super typical, and does not mean that the takedown was not legitimate. Third-party takedown services are something that is a legitimate use of the way that the DMCA is written and everything else like that. Oh my god, seriously! I hit the freaking spin button. By the way, we will be going into a non-recorded CPG rant of the evening pretty soon. I did not get a chance to pre-record a CPG rant, but we'll be talking briefly about the current Senate Republican approach to managing the healthcare of every American. So, oh no, I would still. I mean, again, if you believe, like, so let's be clear. The only risk for a counter notification is someone like takes you to court. And over like a YouTube gaming stream, the likelihood of that is so low. Like even in the case that is the Prince dancing baby case, the like Universal, despite making, or whoever it was, I don't know if it was Universal, whichever music company manages Prince's music, like despite this being Prince, when countered, even they backed off on a claim on Prince music. So like the chances of actually, you know, having someone take you to court over a YouTube video is so low, especially if it's not egregious, like if it's, you know, anything else like that. But it is not impossible that like Comso is representing, you know, whoever makes Persona in their DMCA claims. I think it's unlikely, but it's possible. So
But yours soon will be too.
there we go. Death Tornado Spin. Excellent.
You insolent, insignificant moron!
Oh, go away, Angry Mask Man. Let's do some zebras. Yeah, 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 Zebra says. So yes, in a case where you do not believe you have done anything wrong, my answer is counter. Hello! Whistledon Online! My favorite as well. I mean you, of course, not the game. Alright, let's save and go away. And, yeah, I can push buttons. I love that I can just push buttons for this. There we go. Alright, it's time for the CPG Rant. The CPG Rant of the evening is where I give you a little bit of peace of my mind on whatever I feel like talking about into that day, and today is the day, Monday. It is currently 2 days before VidCon, but we're not going to talk about that. It is currently, you know, almost summer, but we're not going to talk about that. What we are going to talk about is the healthcare of millions of Americans. So, sit back, relax, and listen to me tell you the way it goes. Allowing Republicans to absolutely destroy the democracy in this country over some bullshit attempts to give millions of dollars in tax rebates to millionaires and billionaires is absolutely atrocious. I'm the Chris who plays games. This is your CPG Rant of the evening. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you believe. I don't care if you are a dyed-in-the-wool conservative. I don't care if you're Donald fucking Trump. If you believe that this level of tomfoolery and bullshit around the workings of the Senate on this current healthcare bill is appropriate, then you should just go and die in a fire. It is absolutely atrocious that the Senate has learned that that sharing information about the political process and sharing information about the way in which we are going to take away healthcare from tens of millions of Americans is absolutely not a politically wise move. If you do that, then your constituents can get angry. They can come to you and they can ask you questions. And we don't want to allow that. We don't want to allow our constituents to ask us what we're doing, because that would be silly. Even when you ask Republicans, what is your bill doing? They do not know. They do not know the policy. They do not know the approach. They do not even know the problems they're solving. All they know is, I don't like it because a black guy did it. Or if they don't know that, then they just have no idea. They just have no idea. No one can tell you how this is going to make it better, because it's not going to make it better. In the AHCA that was passed by the House, there is not going to be any benefit to the average American, but there will be benefit to the people at the top. The people who are above even me in the top 0.1% rather than the top 1%, to health insurance CEOs, to all kinds of people like that. We're talking about millions of dollars in tax refunds and rebates and everything else like that. We are talking about hundreds of millions of dollars given to the people at the top so that people at the bottom can't buy healthcare. The destruction of the Obamacare healthcare registries has come in part as a result of government inaction, confusion, and total destruction. Our current president trumpets gleefully that the Obamacare exchanges are dying when he is the one killing them, and that is atrocious. It is completely unreasonable and unacceptable to oh my God. It is so frustrating. And I do realize that healthcare, We're not going to have millions of people dying in the streets as a result of changes in healthcare. We're not going to have some massive overnight sweeping change in how people are insured in this country. We're not going to have those things, and I realize that. And I don't want to sit here and pretend, as some people do, that, you know, that everything that is passed is going to be this bad. But what you're talking about is a bill that affects 20% of the American economy. What you're talking about is a bill that is being written behind closed doors with no consultation with experts, with no public scrutiny, not even to the people who these senators are supposed to represent. Now, I've often commented on the fact that my father-in-law, who is a representative in New Hampshire, was always my model for a politician. Because when he was a politician, he represented people. Even when he didn't believe in the thing he was voting for, if he felt that his constituents felt in a particular way, even if it was against his personal beliefs, he would vote that way. Now, many of his positions were influenced by the fact that he was Republican and he was elected, and many of the people who voted for him were Republicans, and therefore, on average, he has to take the Republican Party line. But on issues on gun control and birth control and other things like that in the New Hampshire State Senate or State House, he voted for his constituents. And to have the senators and the Republican senators currently abdicating that responsibility in the recrafting of this healthcare bill in such a significant and important way, in such a blatant disregard for the democratic principles that this country runs on, is depressing as fuck. I'm angry that people who have the power to do something, to make something better, because no one thinks Obamacare is good in its current state. It's better than what we had. It's a step in the right direction. It's an improvement from where we were. Because we have tens of millions of people, or 10 million people, who are no longer without health insurance. And as someone who has gone without health insurance and knows that the stress and the risks and everything else that come with that, it's better to have health insurance, all things equal. And yeah, it sucks that it costs too much still. It sucks that you can't get the care you want. It sucks that we don't have adequate consumer protections. It sucks that we don't have all the things that we should have. It sucks that we don't have single payer. It sucks that you can't buy into Medicaid. All of it sucks. It sucks. And there's so many things you could change if you had people who are interested in policy working on that. But instead, what you have is a group of 8 to 12 guys behind closed doors talking to the lobbyists, giving them millions of dollars, and having them tell them what to write into this bill so that their bosses, the health insurance CEOs, and all the other rich people in this fucking country get a tax break. It's despicable. It's garbage. And it's horrifying when we're talking about 10 million plus people who will no longer be insured, 10 million plus people who will lose access to their health insurance with no real meaningful benefit. It's not going to cut costs for the little guy. It's not going to give a tax break to the little guy. It's not going to do any of the things that are promised because the policy is not important. It wasn't in the beginning, and it isn't now. It's about making the fat cats and their lobbyists happy. There is not a single state in this country which is in favor of the current information about this bill, and I can't say whether they'll like the bill that's going to come out or not because no one's fucking telling you what's in it! Fuck you, Senate Republicans. I'm the Chris who plays games. This was your CPG rant of the evening. Hello, Vicky. Hey, we got a zebra. That's good. Thanks, Catizzle. Oh, that fucking sucks, Proto Sam. Oh, I hate doctors. No, Cod was just, I was calling it Vicky Cod. Alright, I don't know what's going on there, but... Yeah, I mean, the situation is it's just so terrible. Like, it's so terrible. Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here saying, like, I hate the medical profession as I'm sitting here with, like, 2 nurses, you know, and like, a number of my friends who are doctors, and I realize, like, all these things are hard. I mean, the reality is that healthcare is hard. The reality is that healthcare is an underinvested public, you know, amenity or service or whatever, you know, where you have a whole mess of shitty incentives, the whole mess of, like, all kinds of things that suck, and so you just end up in this really terrible situation where everything is bad all the time. I will keep that in mind. I haven't actually, like, uploaded a separate CPG rant for a while, but there's actually 2 that I want to do. One is the one that I did on Friday, which is about, like, large YouTube creators have no fucking idea why they're popular, because they got there primarily via luck, and they have no idea that that's the case, because all the people who weren't lucky lost out. So they just don't realize, they have no idea that they can't offer the, like, they always think that the things that they did are what got them to where they are, instead of realizing that what actually happened is there was 100 people all doing the exact same thing, and they were the lucky one. They were the one that got somewhere from it. Exactly, Mark. That was literally, like, the title of my rant is CPG Rant Survivorship. Well, to the nines, I mean, filing a counter notification is actually so one, you do have to keep in mind that pretty much everyone who wants to file a counter notification is wrong, because many people do not understand copyright in any way, shape, or form, and just think, like, well, I don't like using this, I don't like the fact that someone else is telling me what to do, so I'm going to file a counter notification. And then the other thing is that they want someone who is actually, you know, making that commitment to realize there is a potential. Now, granted, there's a potential legal risk no matter what. Like, a counter notification filed in good faith is not a risk. A counter notification filed in bad faith is, but so long as it's filed in good faith, like, someone could submit a copyright infringement lawsuit against you instead of submitting a counter or a DMCA takedown. So while it removes the number of action options that a claimant has, because they either have to accept that the content goes back up or sue you, if they really wanted to sue you, they could in the first place anyway, so. I think one of the problems is, I think that as to the nines kind of suggested, is that one of the problems is that since your claim is from a you know, in this case, a third party which just issues claims, and is like has no additional information. It's hard to know, am I right or wrong? Like, no one is telling me here what's actually there. So the other option that you can take, and in this case, I think it's just so much, fuck, to me, it's so clear cut that this seems like a mistake rather than anything else, but, you can actually email copyright@youtube.com and ask for the contact information for the person who submitted the claim, and you'll get an email address at the very least, and possibly like some other information. But it won't tell you what the claim was. They'll just tell you like who submitted it, which can be helpful at times, especially if you wanted to contact them and say like, hey, I don't know what this is. Like can you please tell me, so that I can decide like did you make a mistake, or like, hey, I think you made a mistake, like please make this go away. But when you think you're in the right and have no reason to suspect otherwise, I wouldn't even, like, people make mistakes. They type the wrong video ID, they copy paste the wrong thing, they hit the wrong button. Like I just don't, there are too many false positives for me to feel like a good faith counter notification is a terrible idea. Yeah, I think that's, in your situation, that's exactly what I do to the Nines. I don't think it's reasonable to contact them. I think it just seems like such a silly thing in the context that we're working in. And I'm sure you figured this out or slash know this, but until your counter notification is processed, you won't be able to live stream. I think once it's processed, you will. But I would be interested to know if there's anything that does not work as intended in that process. So if you get like okay, we're sending your counter notification on and then you still can't live stream, that would be interesting for me to know. Because I don't, like, claims are so actually rare. Like, I know the content ID process pretty well, but claims are so relatively rare for live streamers that I don't even know. And then like the one time that someone had a claim recently, I was like, this seems like, or a strike. I was like, it seems like you maybe played some video from a late night TV show, and they were like, oh shit. And I was like, okay, yeah, that can't help you then. Yeah, sorry, strikes. To the Nines, I did play Crash 2. I did not finish it, and I was originally actually going to go back and do it, and then found I'd never dropped a save state or like a memory card save, so I had no progress to continue from. So I was like, all right, Crash 3 it is. It's a sign from fate. Alternatively, I didn't really like Crash 2, both of which are actually true. So go. Okay. Man. Man, that rant was so poorly thought out, but man, swearing at people is cathartic. The only thing is that, like, I don't know what to do in a situation where the Senate is doing things behind closed doors and not talking to people about it. Like, what exactly is there to do? You're dealing in a situation where everything is broken and nothing works. Like, what next? Oh, I think I have to destroy the blimps. Okay. Take care, Chris GC8. Have a great one. And I will ask people what they think of the future of live. That seems like a totally reasonable question to me. Oh god. Stop shooting me! Get out of here. Wow, they did a lot of damage very quickly. Oh shit, I'm not supposed to hit the balloons, I'm supposed to hit the boxes under them to recharge my health, I think. Yeah, that's going down. The fact that Naughty Dog went on to do Last of Us is definitely, like, I wonder how many of the Crash Bandicoot team are still there. Like, I know they're doing the remaster, but the reality is, like, remasters do not require a whole lot of the support of the original team in order to pull off, right? So, alright, there we go. Recharge my life. Alright, where's the last one? There it is. Oh god. Get away from me. Fuck, 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 fuck! Aha! Whew. Yeah, random. I am. Was Parappa bad? I mean, the problem with Parappa as a remaster is Parappa's not a very long game. Like, Parappa, even on a good day, is like 30-45 minutes of content, and so it always seemed odd to me that that was the route they were going. It didn't seem like it was a really good choice to do a remake, so. I feel like Nico is saying that she has seen Crash Rule 34 on the internet, which is interesting. Like, I just didn't see the Parappa remake as being very useful because, you know, like, Parappa was intentionally a very flat, like, non-3D character. The entire environment was very fixed. I just didn't see what they were gonna get a lot out of it. It's like, okay, yeah, you get some HD textures, but if you're doing the same songs, that's not super interesting. And if you're not doing the same songs, it's also not super interesting because, like, that's like the entire point of Parappa. Okay. So they just did a lazy / bad remaster. I feel like also, are we gonna see a lot of lazy / bad remasters for like Scorpio and PS Pro? Like, is that gonna be the next trend in about 2 years? Is that we'll start seeing all these like 4K remasters that are just upscaled 1080p and won't make any difference to 99% of the people who play them? I missed that checkpoint, so hopefully I don't die. I do have at least one mask, so I can take a hit. See, on this level I've got an arrow. I feel like that's a thing that I didn't have on that like Red Hot Cocoa level. Ah, got it. So the thing that I'd say about that though is that I actually feel like the initial Parappa also felt that way. Like, the game was less about timing to anything that you could observe and more about timing to something that you had to like practice at and get really good at. Because there wasn't this like, you know, obvious path that you were able to follow. Yeah, and I will never call it the Xbox One X because Scorpio's a way better name. I think it is one of the many cases in life where the code name was a better name than the non-code name. I also am not super like. I will give Microsoft this though. The Mixer name, which I thought was seemed a little bit meh to begin with, has been really effective. Like people seem to have latched onto that name. So the Expo. That's right. Only one X. So Expo. Go away, Zebra. I don't like your stop signs. I don't know, I think, like, with the FTL branding, I felt like Beam was not a bad name. Oh, did you know I have, like, an actual, like, fancy people polo shirt? It's got an alligator on it. I don't know what you're talking about. Go away, Story. I don't like Story. Have you not figured this out yet? Stupid game. There should be, like, a button, turn off Story, in all games. Maybe you'd have to beat it the first time first. I think that's actually what, like, so 7th Guest and 11th Hour actually have, like, you don't have to walk around, you just, you click on the map and it takes you to the room after you beat things the first time. Hey, Snarly Charlie! Yes, I am a preppy. Oh, guess what? I also, so for Father's Day, we went out to the Atlantic Fish Company, and I was kind of like, okay, this is like a fancy, you know, restaurant, but I wasn't like totally understanding of how out of my league I was until they handed me my Father's Day gift, which was a $10 gift certificate off of $30 during lunches between Monday and Thursday or something like that. And I was like, okay, thanks guys. Like, I realize that this is a cheap time for you, so you're just like, please, just somebody get into the restaurant. But inside the wrapped box was a golf ball from the Atlantic Fish Company. And I was like, okay, I am at a restaurant. I am out of my league. Like, it's just like being on Nantucket where all the houses cost like $6.7 million. When they give you a golf ball for lunch, you know that it is... you are in the wrong place. A golf ball not for lunch. A golf ball is a thank you present. You know you're in the wrong place. Okay, I don't like you or trust you. I did not eat chicken. No, I had a captain's platter, which was basically like take each thing on the menu and deep fry it, and then put them all on one plate. It was delicious. So one of the things that Google has kind of spoiled me for is like, it used to be that I would try like swordfish or, you know, like, you know, not scrod, but like, you know, fancy fishes or something else like that. And now that they work at Google, like, I get swordfish like every 2 weeks, you know, and I get like all these really nicely done fishes, but what I don't get at Google is anything that's bad for me, because Google is a parent, because they hire too many freaking kids, and so they feel they have to parent them, and so they don't give us fried foods, they don't give us, you know, options that are actually tasty, they only give us like terrible tasting healthy options, which means that I have to get my unhealthy food from somewhere else. And in this case, I was like, oh my gosh, tons of good tasting fried fish. I'm totally doing that. I mean, the reality is that, like, so the reality is that I live out of my league, like, because I am, like, there's so many things that are weird about how I've come up, right? Like, I'm a parent of a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old, but I'm only 33, but because of, like, a lot of luck combined with a ton of probably, like, white privilege, I have managed to, like, oh god, I have managed to kind of accelerate my growth inside of, and salary and everything else like that, even beyond what my skill really makes appropriate. And so I am lucky enough to be a rich asshole. But that's weird. But I feel out of my league, right? So I'm young for my relative age, and like I am still like socially outclassed by the average clientele of the Atlantic Fish Company. It's what I feel like. In reality, my money's still green. My shirt still has an alligator on it. You know, it's there. Yeah, no, Mark, there's like a Sotheby's like real estate agency on the like in town, and they have their little like brochure with all of their with a whole bunch of their properties listed in it. And it's like, oh yes, if you'd like the 1 bedroom, 1 bath, like that's only, you know, 2.7 million. Or something like that. It's crazy. It's a crazy market. Yeah, that's right. I am fancy. Yeah, exactly. So in New England, like the you know, the old rich people, of which I am not, are a class, and so it is like I am going to lunch in a place which is above my class, which is fine. Like, it's not like it's actually a problem. Like, it doesn't matter, but it does feel like it is clearly a place where I feel slightly out of place. Jose, probably, but not that quickly. So I think, what did we figure out? Like, when all the ice melts, total sea level rise would be like 150 feet or 250 feet. I don't remember what we figured out. We were talking about this with Van at one point. And so Nantucket is only like the maximum height on the island is something like 27 feet or something like that. But on the other hand, they do actually have a, so I don't know. I can't figure that out. So they do actually have a relatively well-defended, like, harbor, as you can see from my videos of it, which means that building a seawall to keep out sea level rise for a little while would not be totally unreasonable. I don't think so. So it is definitely the case that, but I mean, Nantucket is also like 7 miles by 2 miles, right? So it's got a fair amount of different parts of it. I don't know which ones will be first to go. It's not my fault that my drum videos are so great, Jose. It was actually kind of funny today. I was talking to the Rex team about South Park and Family Guy and American Dad and everything else like that. And like, I was like, also, I would really like it if YouTube could stop recommending my own videos to me. Like, I know that I made them, and, you know, whatever else like that. So I was actually talking to the, I think he's like tech lead of Rex, I'm not sure. I was just saying to him, I was like, all right, I'm going to VidCon. Like, is there an article about the algorithm that's your favorite, so that when people, like, you know, ask me about it, like, what should I do? And he was like, no, not really. He's like, what's your thoughts on the algorithm? And I said, I like Tom Scott's video. Like, Tom Scott's video is my favorite recent video on the algorithm, which basically says, like, you know, YouTube wants watch time, and it gets it by throwing all of the data it has into a giant black box and hoping what comes out the other side is useful. And he was like, yeah, that's a good video. So I feel like I now have official support from someone who works on Search and Discovery that the Tom Scott video is okay. But taking screenshots, and I'm like, yeah, I recognize why all those videos are there. Like, 2 of them are me, so I can understand that. So. So which video, did he do a recent one? He did do a recent one. I vaguely remember it. I did not watch it. MattPat's videos are too long. I like Tom Scott because he keeps it short. Like, MattPat just talks too much. Oh yeah, that was like how to create a YouTube trend, right? I thought the idea was good, but I was not interested because I think that in practice it is very difficult to actually create a YouTube trend, and so the title was kind of off-putting to me. It's easy to take advantage of one, but hard to create one. God damn it. So yeah, Soybomb earlier was mentioning that, like, he completed Crash 1 without save states, and I think that, like, the reality is that because EPSXE doesn't have like a visual menu that I can see, I very rarely actually think of using save states. And because Crash Bandicoot is just so kind of straightforward, so I probably used it on like a boss battle or something, but not on every level, because I just am like, no, I just keep doing my thing. Like, I'm only gonna go back a little bit. It's not that big a deal. There we go. 10-minute army. Welcome, Raiders. Johan Galliela, Pluffadove, Coffee Bird, Management Boy. Good to see all of you. Oh, fuck. God damn it. Supervillain Hannah, which is like Lady Alka, or is that a different person I'm confusing with now? Welcome all of you. I'm the Chris who plays games, playing retro games every Monday. That's tonight. And whenever I feel like every Friday. Tonight we're playing some Crash Bandicoot Warped, which probably has a story, but I've been paying no attention to it, and just like beating things up and spinning in circles. It is an imposing army. I mean, they come in with this Lalo guy, and that Lalo guy, he knows his stuff. Like, I mean, if I was gonna have someone give me a talk on the algorithm, I would just go to Lalo, and I'd be like, Lalo, tell me the algorithm. Tell me how I make a YouTube trend. And he would be like, all right, CPG, I'm gonna give you the down low. Step 1, you gotta buy a PlayStation, because if you don't have a PlayStation, you're just not in with the cool kids. Step 2, you know, your camera doesn't matter, your notifiers don't matter, you just gotta have some interesting, you know, content, and you gotta be engaging and everything else like that. I don't know. There's like someone whose name changed in Brad's stream, and there were like 2 people whose name I didn't know, and you're one of them. But yes, thank you all, Raiders. Welcome to the stream. Let me know if you want to know something. Oh look, someone subscribed. Supervillain Gaming is now a playa. I guess we're getting like, I think I have almost like 3,000 subs at this point, maybe. I don't actually keep track of the number, but every now and then I'll like see it somewhere. Talons of Justice. Oh god. And a song, Overwatch. Ooh baby. Shook. You shook me all night long. Whisper to me when you shook me all night long. Welcome, Softball 21, to the players. Okay, everyone else is calling you. Oh, what? I can't stand on that thing when it's closed? Seriously? I mean, the reality is that I'm not gonna play the remaster because this is retro and I like it. Like, why do I need to do anything else? Yeah, that's right. Give me a mask, because I suck at this game apparently. Ugh. My tolerance is at an all-time high. Oh, fuckity, fuck. Give me a mask and I just walk right into a nitro box. That's what I do with it. No, I knew it's coming out, but I'm not gonna play it because I play games on emulator and I have a PS4, but I don't play it. I play the old school versions of games. That's just what I do. It's my thing. It's my shtick, as they say. There we go. If Lalo and Chris... No, it is on an emulator. Did I say not on an emulator? I meant to say on an emulator. I play on an emulator. I don't play on a PS4. I don't play on a whatever. I play with a PS4 remote, but... What we gonna sing, Lalo? I am Moana! Put up my arm and do the other songs from Moana that I don't know. I watched the movie. I don't know what Hayulazgo. How ya Lesgo? That feels like a very weird porn name. I don't know. How ya Lesgo? What? Okay, apparently bandicoots can't swim. Good to know. Booyah! Alright, bandicoots can't swim. Bandicoots can't swim. But yeah, Lalo, I'll totally do a sing-along with you, my friend, my buddy, my pal. That's right, you're welcome, you're welcome. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. That was the one I was thinking of. See, I was like, you gotta put up your arm. You knew what I was talking about. He was like, yeah, I'm the best. And she was like, fuck, dude, just get in my fucking boat. Like, it was pretty much the whole story. There was also that time when his, like, weird fishhook cracked. And he was like, I am Lightning Man, blah, blah, blah. Also, he was so pouty when he couldn't get his fishhook to work. He was like, I can't do it. I'm just gonna sit here and pout, which is totally me. Like, that's me when I haven't had anything to eat for a while, so. He was totally hangry. I mean, I get why he was hangry. He was like on a tiny island with no food for like 1,000 years. It seems like it would be easy to get hangry in that situation. There we go. I don't know how to get past you. Aha! I have discovered the way. Slide kick it is. Oh shit. Oh, I can't body slam? That's weird. Anyway, yeah, so I'm, so the reason I'm playing Crash now and not this Insane Trilogy later is that I have no plans to play the Insane Trilogy, and so this is what I'm gonna play. I'm done with that. Fuckity fuck 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 fuck. I wonder, fuck, right, that was dumb. Be cautious around water. I wonder, like, when they put the masks in. Like, do they play test a level and figure out, like, where people are dying a lot as a way to do that? Or do they, like, plan the level out first and then do it? Or I wonder how those things work. Like, this is, these micromanaging aspects of game design, which I think really the answer is it depends, right? Like, it changes for every game, depending on how people are doing it and everything else like that. But it's an aspect of games that I've never, like, when you have helper items that can help people do better, do you design them into the level first, or do you add them as a, like, stopgap for people who fail? I don't know. I guess bandicoots are afraid of water. That's the conclusion I came to. It's not a really good conclusion, but it's the only one I got. Water, water everywhere, you're gonna get wet. I've actually played all the Sonic games. I've played Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Sonic Spinball, Sonic CD. If you go to my website, chrisplaysgames.com, there's a, like, list of games, and each one of them has a link to the video where I played something, so I don't think anyone's really going to want to go back and watch my archives of things, but I oftentimes use that as a reference for, like, what have I actually played, and, you know, what have people seen and not seen, and everything else like that, so. Every now and then I go back and play another game, like a game that I've played before. I've done that a couple times for Super Mario Bros. 3, for example, but it's pretty rare for me. I try and always be, like, looking for something new, just because, like, there's so many good games out there, and given that I play, like, you know, retro games and indie games and all this other stuff, there's just so much out there that I want to play. Like, Embers of Miriam is a game that I saw at E3, or PAX East, that is coming out pretty soon, and I'm super excited about. Another thing that's coming out soon is, I don't know, like ARMS on the Switch. I'm actually kind of interested to play. One of the problems at the moment is I don't have a capture card that can do HDMI in, so I don't have any way to capture consoles at the moment, so, No, absolutely. Like that's why I play these games a lot, right? So, you know, games like Crash bring back memories for me, and I know like Banjo-Kazooie was another big fan favorite. A lot of people got kind of excited about that, and so on and so forth. Oh, come on! Fuck. Do it all over again. Yes! Okay, you can just barely make that run if you are careful and jump at the right time. Good to know. Alright, come up water. Now we gotta go down. Stay here. Hey, Fernando! How's it going? See, Fernando came in when I was playing Sonic, so he knows that I'm a Sonic man. I'm gonna make a supersonic man out of you. Don't stop me, don't stop me, don't stop me. That was close to death for no good reason. Alright. Really? I like Sonic. Sonic is fast-paced. Sonic is like a decent platformer with interesting level design. It's you know, like I feel like it's constantly moving, which is I think is fun. It has decent bosses, a little bit of difficulty, but not too much, so most people can actually do pretty well at beating it. Like there's just a lot of kind of things that were done well with Sonic, so fandom I don't know much about. I do know that there is a lot of support for Sonic in its little community. I know that from seeing it in a lot of cases, so. Oh wow. Our female character is going to be fighting the boss, so that's interesting. Ow! That was that was entirely my fault. Do not know what I was thinking. Actually, no, I do know what I was thinking. What I was thinking of is there's a yellow thing, and yellow things seem to be where I do damage, so I must need to hit that. That was my actual thought process. It wasn't a great thought process because obviously there's a trade-off between hitting things and dying that I need to make, but there we go. So I think my like hit yellow things is a good idea. I just needed to also pay attention to self-defense. Ow. Oh, the middle is shooting rockets too. I did not realize that until now. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Is that it? No, of course not. This isn't even my final form! I can't tell if that thing is a good thing or a bad thing. Definitely Star Fox-ish, I agree. Star Fox Bandicoot. I mean, Bandicoots are basically just foxes, as far as I'm concerned, so it seems like we're pretty much there to begin with. Hey, Prof, how's it going? Apparently they remind everyone of Star Fox. I played very little Star Fox because I never had, like, I was not part of the Super Nintendo, N64, etc. Clan. I went straight from Nintendo to Sega, and then to PlayStation. So for me, Star Fox is something that I only played a little bit much later, rather than something that I played for, you know, a large chunk of my childhood, like it is for some people. Alright, yellow thing, get away from me. Okay, so I do have to hit the thing on the bottom as well now, which is shooting these gems at me. Fuck, 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 fuck. There we go. It's gonna suck when I die and have to do this whole thing over again. Which new Star Wars game is coming out? Is that Battlefront 2? They demoed that at the thing that just happened, right? E3. God damn it, get away from me, you fuckers. Apparently I have a fruit bazooka now. That's good to know.
It's funny how history repeats itself.
Blah, blah, blah. Bilal, Battlefront 2 sucks? So it wasn't clear to me if Battlefront 2 sucked because of the, like, whether it was a case where the demo really sucked, and the game maybe wouldn't suck as much. Like, whether the issue was the presentation sucked, or whether the game was actually gonna suck. I have not played Ape Escape. Nope. So I'm gonna pause this for a second. Yes. Because I want to just stretch. And in the meantime, you guys get to watch one of the videos I produced just recently. So, why are you not? Oh, because I resized it for other things. Okay, so if I do this. There we go. So I did a few edits of drone videos, and so this is one of the ones that I produced, which is near my father-in-law's house up in Nashua. So this is Mindfells Park, which has this dam thing in it. And so these were just kind of like quadcopter shots I did near there. I just love shots like this. Like, overall, like, I just love my quadcopter. Like, I love how smooth it is. I love that, like, watching these shots feels very kind of smooth and professional. Like, I love shooting and just, like, watching, like, 4K videos with all the detail that goes into them and everything else like that. I do love that even at 1080p, like, VP9, this still gets super blocky. But, like, the reflection on the river here, everything else like that, it's just really great. So to the nines, you should put Ape Escape in the form. I'll try to remember to do it later. To your work, but if you put it in the game form, I'm more likely to remember it. So this is some of the scenes. So if you saw my earlier video with the merry-go-round spinning, you'll see some of the same shots here. So coming out here through the playground equipment, and then the spinning merry-go-round. I have played Spyro and I have played Donkey Kong, yeah. I didn't finish Spyro. The biggest issue I had with Spyro was that there's just a lot of these things where you kind of have to explore a lot of it to figure out where to go next, and I never know where to go, and so people who know it all the time are like super good at it, but for me I just spent so much time kind of wandering around lost. That was how I felt when I played it. So if I was gonna do it, I'd want to walk through. I love this shot. So this is a bunch of birds that I followed, but what you can't see is actually that this shot is like a cropped in zoom in of like 4K by like 2x, so I'm only using, but even at like zooming in 2x, I'm still able to get like 1080p video, which is just cool for me. Take care, supervillain. Yeah, so like doing things to 100% is hard. No, I don't want this one. So I also did like oh, is this really the same song? Oh no, okay. I was gonna say, I feel like usually when I pull up a song, I'm like, oh, I use that in video X. So this is our video from our Nantucket weekends. This is on the ground and everything else like that. So it's the ferry we came in on, and that's the Nantucket town area. We got this beautiful rainbow when we first came in. Interesting thing about this shot, which most people won't actually notice, is that it's actually backwards. So this shot where I'm flying into the town is actually, I was flying out of the town. You can tell it because there's this truck on the street kind of in the middle here, and so if you watch it, you can actually see the truck going backwards down the road. You won't see it in this video because the quality's too low, but something to look for. So yeah, we had this like gorgeous double rainbow. This is Jess and I went out to dinner the first night. This is where we went to lunch the first day. This is the Nantucket Oil and Perfume Shop, which was like a Harry Potter potion lab. And then I did a bunch of flying out at the Brant Point Lighthouse. That's not flying, that's just a handheld camera, but that's flying. So I really enjoyed, I enjoyed filming this. I enjoyed just kind of having a lazy weekend, and I enjoyed editing this and putting it together. So I realized that most of these videos, this is like watching a slideshow from someone's vacation. So for most people, it's probably super boring, but I wanted to share it anyway. So that's a shot from right near our hotel, which there'll be another shot coming down later where you can actually see the inn. That's the white elephant, so we were standing in that little lot behind there. Yeah, so this is kind of like downtown Nantucket. So all the boats here is kind of the harbor, and this is town. So when there's basically only one town in Nantucket, and this is it. There's a couple little outstanding areas on the sides, and if you look on, you can actually see probably almost to the far side of the island, which is like 2 miles away. So. And this is again Brant Point. John Kerry's house is actually in that shot. So he and his wife own a house out on Nantucket they're trying to sell, and it's included in that shot. So this is our inn. So we stayed in this little bed and breakfast here that you can see right in the middle of this shot, which was rated one of the best bed and breakfast, I think the best bed and breakfast in America according to some magazine now. And this is the ferry back. So the Iano Ivano, I don't know, whatever, is the ferry that we took out there, and then actually just last weekend it got stuck on the rocks, and had to be, like, people had to be evacuated by helicopter. So luckily that did not happen to me, but you know, stranger things have happened, as they say. All right, let's go back to the game. Ow. That's awesome, Cowdizzle. Oh, I do have a weapon now. I had forgotten that. Yep. Thank you. Wasn't it the one that was like an $83 million yacht or something, Mark? I don't know. I could be misremembering, but I remember at one point you like ended up seeing a yacht that was like, I remember we looked it up and it was like ridiculously, you know, had a helipad and everything else like that. I don't know. Maybe we were just looking that up separately from the one you saw in Stockholm. Yeah, so weapons definitely make this easier. Forgetting that for a long time would have made this whole game much more difficult. So I appreciate that, Victor. I think it's based on your fruit, so I don't know. I've got 70 fruit now. Oh no, I guess yeah, just unlimited ammo. They clearly want you to figure out that you should use your weapon, but I'm pretty sure I still would have missed it. I've been like, how the hell do I jump out to those things? God damn, my fingers smell like onions. I was cutting onions earlier to help Jess make her Peruvian chicken. And so now my fingers smell like onions because that's what happens. 70 million. Okay, I wasn't too good. I had the right idea. That might even be what I was thinking of. How's it going, Matus? How are you? Is your berry-related illness any better, or are you still feeling like utter garbage? I was sorry to hear that, especially because I think you've got like a bajillion-hour drive coming up soon, right? Oh God, I'm not gonna try that again. Screw that. I think realistically I had to shoot the exclamation mark underneath the platforms, but whatever. Ugh, I'm sorry. Are you driving down tomorrow or are you driving down Wednesday? Or what was your original plan? I guess I should ask first, since it seems possible your plan will change depending on how you feel tomorrow. It's like a 9-hour drive for you, if I remember correctly. Woohoo! Just hopped right over those spikes. Ooh baby, ooh baby. Oh man, that sucks. Well, I hope you feel better. I look forward to seeing you. He got ill from raspberries or something, he said. Evil raspberries. Oh no! I saw that coming. That was not great. Compared to my last attempt to hop over that thing, I think that one went much more poorly. Oh God. Okay. Just shoot things. Stop trying to rush it. You are going slower by dying every time than you will by just killing things the right way. So, I thought that too, but then I tried earlier and it did not work really well for me. Anyway, I don't want to jump on that one anyway. Just get out of here. Oh, you can jump on them like that. You jump on them without shooting. Okay, so that was what I had assumed, like when they're in their shell form, right? Like now. Oh, okay. I tried that. I think that like the reality might be that their shell form is slightly less long than the display time on it, and so I hit it like right on the edge of coming in or out of the shell form. So got it. No, you can get food poisoning from just about anything. Meat, fruit, fish. Yeah. How many levels are there in this game? Is this like the last set of levels? Orange asphalt. I get the feeling like this is the one that I spent a lot of time fighting with. The last world. Okay. Yes, this is definitely the one that I spent a lot of time fighting with. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to VidCon. So far I've built my Friday, so my Thursday and Friday schedule, but not my Saturday schedule. Well, no. I have done my first pass on both of those days. The problem is that like there's so much good stuff that I have like 6 sessions in most time slots that I want to go to, so I have to actually go through and do the second pass where I narrow down what I'm actually going to see, which I have not done yet, but I'm at least heading in the path of knowing what I want to go to. I'm looking forward to it. I do think that a lot of people are like super excited about getting together, and I'm super excited about going to the conference. There's a couple of people I really like. I'm really looking forward to seeing Vicky. I'm really looking forward to seeing Jose. Like, I'm excited about our housemates, who I think are going to be pretty cool. But a lot of it, I'm just like, I mean, I love you all, but I talk to you all online all day. I see you in streams. I see you everywhere else, and it's cool to see you in person. Don't get me wrong, but for people that I watch stream regularly, I feel like it's a little bit less of a thing. You know, it's not like I will never see your face like it would be if we didn't all interact on a website with video. So, I don't know. It's true. I actually did have a hard time picking out which makeup tutorial I should go to. I think I decided none. I am looking at one of the travel ones. Peanut butter is one of the things that, like, peanut butter and I know honey doesn't go bad, I feel like. Peanut butter, well, okay, so there's like peanut butter, and then there's like peanut butter as implemented in modern, you know, jarred peanut butter, which is probably not actually based on peanuts or something, so. I was actually noticing today, I was looking at my average per donation revenue, even after the higher cut for Super Chat, is significantly higher. Well, no, it's like 15% higher for my Super Chat payments than it was for fan funding. Which I think is because the default amount for people in, you know, the US is $2, and I think that makes a big difference for me, especially because you don't get to send a message if you send less than $2. So I don't think I've gotten a lot of like $1 super chats at any point. But yeah, so for me, my average payout is higher, even though YouTube takes a 30% cut of it. Hawk. But yeah, so I would not be surprised if peanut butter mostly doesn't go bad. I know it's like a core staple. It's one of those things that if you're ever like trapped on a desert island, peanut butter is a good thing to wish for, because it's a pretty high calorie food that doesn't spoil easily. But I don't know if like leaving it out on a spoon for a week is what I like. I would probably still avoid that just because the risk is non-zero and the reward is pretty much zero. So, shit. Dang, that would have been a good thing. Cool. Well, I think that took a lot less time than when I was a kid. It's also possible that I spent all my time as a kid doing the time trials, like the trying to 100% it rather than just playing through the levels, so I won't rule out that this is just a different way of playing. Oh no, he cut my pants off! God damn it. Note to self, do not get pants chopped off by man-wielding knife. I was like, oh shit, there's a man coming with a knife. Oh, let me stand right in the fire. That's a good plan. Yeah, so these levels are a little bit harder. I feel like we're moving in a more difficult direction with this last world. Might just be that the opening's a little bit difficult. Like, once I actually played through that level, that motorcycle level wasn't that bad. Yeah, I would just clean it out. I would definitely not eat it. Get out of here, monkey. Fuck. Oh, god damn it. That would have almost been great. Shit. Alright, let's not try and double jump here. Messes up the timing too much. Just wait. Wow, is double jumping not working there? It's weird. Yeah, I did not seem to be able to double jump over that. Oh wow. I'm down to 4 lives, 5 lives. That's... I did not realize that. At some point I had 31 and stopped paying attention to how many I had. I feel like Mark is responding to a comment I don't feel like I'm missing context. What is Tempest in this context? Because there's a lot of things I can think about Tempest being. Like, one of them is like the, you know, radio wave keyboard detection stuff. Oh. Got it. Totally different Tempest. Like, that's... Tempest is also the name for, like, detection of computer activity via, like, RF antennas or whatever, right? Or is that a different, like, a Tempest attack? Or is that am I misremembering the name? You know, that shit that the NSA does when they want to hear my computer on the other side of the wall. Oh, Tempest is the like, vector graphics one, right? Where you have to, like, spin the thing around the outside and like avoid the lines that come down at you and so on. Allow me to be extremely indescriptive. Fuck. Yes, about a storm, if I recall correctly. The association of the sound with the slicing is quite poor. I feel like they could have done a better job on that. Oh! Fuck! Well, and then I really think that, like, vector graphics are a thing. You didn't see this. I wonder if shit. So at work, we had, like, a maker faire, and someone made asteroids on an oscilloscope. Yeah, this is the auto awesome. Do this and then hit this button. Yeah. So yes, this is asteroids on an oscilloscope. This is the rest of our makerspace, but let's see if I can pull up that video section in particular. Get a slightly longer shot of it. Oh yeah, someone printed like the Nintendo case. And also like a couple of like fidget cubes and other things like that are 3D print. So this is like a one-piece 3D print. So you print it and then it kind of snaps apart. The Killbot Mini, I guess is what it's called. And then like the Nintendo. Oh, he also has 3D printed fidget spinners, of course. And Nautilus gears. All the things that you kind of 3D print when you're 3D printing things. But the Nintendo was interesting. So I talked to him a little bit about that. Trying to remember which shot. This one. There we go. What's a fuse 1? I don't know what that is. There we go. I think I got one from over this angle here. Yeah, so this is the control panel, and then the oscilloscope is actually doing the asteroids. There you go. Oh, no, I don't think so. Anyway, back to the game. Oh, he's like hitting himself in the head with a yo-yo. There we go. Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey, you have to keep in mind that the Cambridge office is full of, people who love vintage hardware, so. They dig the old school. Anyway, so yeah, like, I think that, like, vector graphics in arcade games are one of those things that really hasn't been, that can't really be meaningfully reproduced in emulation. And so, like, asteroids and Tempest and other things like that, like, there's really not a way to reproduce that experience via a, LCD screen. I mean, I'd say via CRT, but, like, that's, of course, they were CRTs. But with, with raster graphics, it really just does not feel the same. There we go. And an extra life, which is good because I needed it. Hey, Mr. 32, how's it going? Whoa! Okay, so I need to be careful and pay attention. And the game has finally decided to give me an extra mask, so that's good. Well, so I think the vector experience just gave you. So okay, so one of the things that I think that the raster graphics experience does not give you is the kind of high dynamic range that a vector device gave you. In comparison, because you had, and also the kind of linger aspect of a vector device is kind of hard to reproduce, because it was, you know, based on leaving the CRT scanning in a particular spot for longer. I'm sure that you could do that, and perhaps actually with, you know, as monitors grow more nits in order to support HDR going forward, we'll see that become something that becomes more of an issue, or more, you know, you're able to see more things that replicate that experience. But the biggest issue I have is that, like, the asteroids display is just really fucking bright compared to every, you know, other display that I've seen. Which is actually the same experience that I felt like I had when I got an HDR demo from Steve, is like, holy shit, like, that is a very, very bright screen. So he was demoing to me on like a 20K Sony mastering monitor and everything else like that. So so I think that's it'll be interesting to see as we move into this kind of new era of display technology, whether we're able to get back to some of those things either via emulation, as opposed to via, you know, a CRT electron beam scanning the screen. I also was really interested in someone on YouTube did a laser-based asteroid. So they actually had like a laser that was driven with, you know, gyroscopic mirrors or whatever else like that, and they were able to take that and program asteroids to drive the laser. But even then, the laser just cannot move nearly as fast as an electron beam in a CRT, so you get a very different experience. Now, I wonder if I assume this game has continues. I'm gonna actually toss a save state now, just in case it doesn't. I won't go back to it unless I have to, but... Those things flew right in front of me. I'm pretty sure I hit them, but whatever. I don't know if you can do a barrel roll. It doesn't look like it. Oh yeah, I can. There we go. Looks like it might actually be effective too, which is kind of cool. Okay, you can fly right through the plane, biplanes, that's good to know. Hey, Lizardface, how's it going? But yeah, Mark, there are definitely people who work on the video infrastructure team in Cambridge who I think would put have retro hardware collections that would put even something that like the Metacarta folks would have to shame. And so like a lot of that tends to come out when we get into these maker demos and competitions, and you know who's the more legitimate old fogey competitions, as sometimes happen. Yes! Woo! Anyway, Lizardface Games, good to see you. How is it going? Sorry, I was a bit distracted by that level there, which was difficult. There may be alligators on some of you guys, but there ain't no allies on me. Alright. Oh, shit. Well, at least I got the extra life before I died. Not that it matters, because I can't get another one, so... I feel like that's probably just gonna be a non-extra life box next time. Fuck! Alright, time to pull out the... apple gun. Apple Zuka. I feel like this part of the level is just like, if you haven't gotten 3 masks at any point in the game yet, hey, we're gonna give you something cool. Like, you wanna run through shit? Excellent. Oh, fuck. Where did my little light bug go? He was just done. He's like, I'm outie. I'm outie 9000. Like, I did not slow down at any point. Oh, maybe I missed this one somehow. Yeah, that's what happened. I somehow missed that guy. No problem. Hey, Kingdom of Crash, not bad. I'm hyped going to the VidCon later this week. I have not planned out my Saturday schedule yet, but doing pretty well on picking things that I want to go see. Looking forward to seeing a bunch of you know, interesting panels. I've actually been pretty impressed by both the so last year, so in 2015 I really enjoyed a lot of the creator track panels, or sorry, industry track panels, and last year I just I was not feeling it so much. So I'm excited that this year it seems like they're back to the industry panels look really interesting to me, which is cool. Unfortunately, it means that I have a bunch of stuff that I want to see two of, right? Like I want to see stuff about the future of transition of TV advertising to YouTube, but at the same time, I want to see, you know, tips for how people are creating communities or what's special about YouTube communities. I've got all these different things that I want to do, like multiple things at once. Right. I just like, oh crap, those circles on the floor mean I'm gonna get shot, and then I did. Fuck. No continue points, huh? Woo! Woo! There we go. Alright. So yeah, we've played through most of Crash Bandicoot Warped at this point. I think I'm coming close to some of the end bosses here. In fact, this appears to be Dr. Neo Cortex that I'm going to fight. Hello, Jack Picarillo. Excited to head out to VidCon tomorrow. Excited for being in San Bruno and Mountain View the next week, so I'll be able to talk to a bunch of my coworkers in person who I don't usually get to talk to in person. So overall, it's going to be an interesting couple days. So the Gamers Haven raid. Hello, Nintendo Addict. How's it going? Techie, Ash. Uh-oh. Neo and Mask are not happy. Ash, welcome, 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 Blue Ferron, welcome. Uh-oh. Okay, that did not work. Oh, okay, cool. Hello, hello, welcome everybody. I'm the Chris who plays games, playing retro games every Monday at 9:15, whatever I feel like every Friday at 9:15. Tonight we're playing some Crash Bandicoot Warped, the third game in the Crash Bandicoot series. I will actually be not streaming video games for the next week, maybe even 2. But I will be doing a bunch of short live streams with YouTube creators at VidCon as I wander around and talk to people about what they're enjoying or learning or seeing or anything else like that. So feel free to subscribe to the channel and check that notifications button if you want to, see live streams about what's going on at VidCon over the next week and other stuff like that. But yeah. Oh, okay, so his bubble went away when he was dropping mines. Hey, Kumo, at Gamers Haven, thank you very much for the raid. Parker makes videos. Chris plays games. See, we both do things. I feel like making games is better than making videos, though. I feel like I get the better end of that deal. I could be wrong. I mean, some people... I really enjoy making videos when they come out well, but I feel like so many of my videos, I'm like, ugh, this just is not as good as it should be. So it's a real... problem of perfectionism or whatever. Haha! Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I have to, hit you again? Oh, I have to hit him into the pit. There we go. Alright, one down. But yeah, welcome everybody to the stream. Welcome, Raiders. I appreciate having you all here. Okay. So avoid their tornado fight, and also avoid the shots he's shooting at me. And wait for him to drop more mines, maybe? Yep. Oh, god damn it. I think that's reasonable, Leif. I think Leo would say that, your favorite video ever should be the next one you're going to make. And so I'm working on that. One of the things that I've learned, I've actually been looking a lot at the Google Auto Awesomes. I sometimes have choices or have problems with the choices that they make for particular clips that they use. But I've been trying to think about what is it that makes these feel like good videos to me. And I think that I've come to the conclusion that a lot of it actually just comes down to something very simple. I find them good videos because they use music and they time their scene transitions directly to beats. So downbeats or upbeats or whatever else like that. And the difference that makes is actually very significant. And I've looked at a bunch of other videos that I enjoy. And it turns out that the same is true for those as well. So just making videos that the music is... Oh, I thought I couldn't get burned by the blue side of that. I did not know that. And so I found that interesting to know that, like, my brain is quite simple. If scene transitions happen exactly on, like, beats, I find the video to seem much more professional. So if you look at my recent, like, Nantucket video and my Nashua video, you'll see that both of them have that property of, like, the music transitions on a particular... Like, the music the scenes try to transition close to a particular beat. Which I found it easy that I'm that not easy to please. It's unfortunately a little bit harder than you might think to do, because it means I've got to collect a number of scenes that's approximately how long I want. Then I have to, like, pick music that I think fits the tone that I'm going for, and then I have to actually, like, edit it so that each of the scene transitions is at a timestamp that is, you know, consistent with that goal, which is actually pretty, like, it's time consuming. Yeah, so, I mean, I never studied basic editing, so I'm just reverse engineering these things, so... I know, Super Jason. Super JJ saying I need to get good. I need my power level to be over 9,000, I think. So if only I had some Super Saiyan powers to help me with that, I would be in good shape, but sadly I do not have Super Saiyan powers, so right on top of me. Okay, on the plus side, I've learned that tornado masks actually just go in a figure 8, which is pretty simple. Fuck! That was bad. Alright, let's try this again. This time with less failing. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a college dropout. I went to school for a year when I was in a long-distance relationship with someone from home, and I went to school for another year when I was in a long-distance relationship with Jess. And after that, I moved out to New England to spend the summer with Jess, and ended up getting a job my first week there and did not go back to school. And I've often been asked if I think that's a good idea. Like, in general, is this a thing I should do? And I have always said that I don't know, right? I got lucky. I lucked into a job my first week moving out to New England. I, fell into a couple of other jobs after that, working at a startup, working on my own, and then getting hired in another startup, all through social connections I built through doing software development and other things like that. I had a lot of luck. One of the things that I always felt when I was looking at, can I get another job, is would I be hired without an undergrad degree? And certainly it is harder, right? When people are looking through resumes, it is absolutely the case that people will look for anything they can use to weed out the pile and get rid of them. So they will look at bachelor's degree or lack of degree or anything else like that. My rule of thumb was I will need 5 years in the industry before I will no longer have to answer questions about my lack of a degree. In reality, I had a year working at WeDo, and then I had 8 years working at Metacarta and Nokia before I went out and got another job. So I don't know if my 5 years estimate was right, but it is certainly the case that no one really questioned me when I was applying for jobs, around the time 3 years ago when I was going to Google. So seems like it's worked out for me, but you know, again, I got lucky. I fell into a job, I fell into another job, I fell into another job, and yes, I did that because I was a hard worker and I was able to show that, and I interviewed well, and I did all these things that you can kind of build up. But I also was benefited from, you know, privilege. I benefited from social connections that not everyone can make. I benefited from all of this. And so I think that my advice is, like don't leave school to go join your friend's startup and think you're going to get rich. Don't leave school in order to go do, you know, X, Y, or Z. If you want to go, like, leave school and work at a job, that's fine, but keep in mind that if you lose that job in the first 3 to 5 years, when you go try to find a new job, there's a possibility this is going to be a real problem for you. And you should take that into account and have that backup plan of going back to school, you know, take the deferment, take the, you know, do the right thing as far as that goes. I didn't do that. And so I actually ended up looking for a new job a year after I was there, because we moved and Jess was going to Wellesley and we moved down to Cambridge, and I wasn't going to drive 45 minutes, you know, an hour every day to go back to work. And so I ended up doing some consulting work and so on and so forth. And I got lucky because I had connections, and not everyone is going to, so you should have that backup plan. But it can work. I don't think that the computer science degree would have been a real help in what I actually do. And, you know, the connections that I made maybe weren't there. The biggest thing that I think I was missing when I was at school is that I failed to take advantage of the things I did have access to. You know, I was working at a university famous for its participation in creating the internet. I was working at a university with, you know, tons of research in the ACM and graphics and VR and other things like that. And I never really took advantage of that. I never really stepped back and said, like, how can I, you know, do better here? And really, like, realized what I was giving up on. And as a result, I wasn't really giving up on much. I was too dedicated to the outside parts of my life and ignoring the value of being at school. But that's something as well that you should think about is, can I get more value by being here that I'm not doing? And how can I maximize that when I'm at college? It's a lesson I've tried to, you know, impart to Alicia, is that, like, yeah, you're going to learn things, you're going to go to classes, you're going to do all this, but hopefully you're also going to make networking connections with other people at school that are valuable and that will serve you well later in life. That's the thing I missed out on doing. So for me, leaving school wasn't super valuable. I was doing my networking through online, you know, semantic web community and open source community and other things like that. But it's a thing that I did give up on when I left. Now, granted, I moved to Cambridge, where I met and befriended a bunch of MIT folks, which, you know, is not like a big step down in that sense. It meant that I, you know, made a lot of those connections here and worked in that space, you know, especially open source and open content for a while after that. But yeah, so for me, leaving school was the right decision. For you, it could be, but there was a risk there that I was able to skip past, and you shouldn't necessarily expect you'll be able to. Yeah, so I mean, who you know is pretty much always true, right? So it's not what you know, it's who you know. In networking and other things like that is pretty much always true, especially in like higher wage jobs and more knowledge work and other things like that. It's not that you can't get a job without knowing somebody, just that it tends to be much more difficult. And so I have been lucky to, like, that's how I got my job at Metacarta, was basically I knew somebody. I talked to them on IRC, and that was what I did. But I also, like, I got lucky insofar as I was engaged in a space where, you know, I was able to make a name for myself, and the people I connected with recognized me as somebody that they thought was like a valuable participant, and brought that kind of out and forward in the community I was in, which is something that you can't always expect to happen, especially if you're not super outgoing. So this is one of the reasons why I push people on networking all the time, is it's a super important skill to have. Okay, I have speed shoes. Cool. So is that it? Or is there like another... That can't be the final boss.
Defeated again! This is not fair! maybe I should retire to a nice big beach with a nice big drink and a woman with nice big bags of ice for my head. It's not over, Bandicoot. There are still the gems. We still have a chance to triumph.
Oh, I guess that's it. I won. Yay! That was a bit what's the word when like climax too early. I don't know. Mark Cerny, why do I know that name? Okay, he's clearly done a bunch of stuff. Marble Madness. Okay. Oh, and Sonic 2. Ratchet and Clank. Alright. The closest we have to a modern day Da Vinci. Anticlimactic, there you go. Yeah, that was kind of my thought to the nines. Yeah, lead architect for PS4 was not a thing that I think would have occurred to me, but Marble Madness I can imagine, California Games, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Crash, Spyro 2, and a whole bunch of other stuff in that space. So I've heard of The Last Guardian, but I've never played it. So yeah, so that was a bit anticlimactic, but so it goes. We still won. We get a zebra dance for that. Let's do some zebras. Stop sign zebra. Sour Patch Yoshi. Well, I'm glad you like it. Unfortunately, we finished. So we're actually gonna be ending the stream for the night. We'll see if maybe somebody's playing some Crash. Let's see. If there's any other live Crash Bandicoot streams. Playing Tekken. Boom. Yeah, it looks like no other. There's 3 other streams that come up in search for Crash Bandicoot, but none of them appear to actually be playing Crash Bandicoot, unfortunately. So. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you saw it then. Yeah, I know. That was what Jose was saying earlier. It's like, it's very weird that, you know, these people went from Crash Bandicoot to Last of Us. It's an interesting path there. Alright, what do we got? Anything interesting? Are you speaking English? Why is that tagged as Mega Man 2? Fix your tags, people. Ah. Okay, oh, they just finished streaming. Okay, you know what? Everyone that I have picked is either like not playing the game they say they're playing, or is just finishing their stream. So I think this is my sign. I should not raid tonight. It would just go poorly. So yeah, the floor is lava. All right, so let me go over here and actually save this game in case I want to come back and do other things. Cool. All right. Oh, So thank you all very much for hanging out. I appreciate it. It's been a fun stream, and I look forward to seeing some of you in Anaheim this week. For those of you that I do not see in Anaheim, keep an eye out on live streams. If you have questions for people at VidCon, feel free to hit me up. I'm happy to ask them. If you see a panel you'd really like to know something about, there's that. There's a link to my Discord down in the description below. I will probably be taking running notes on Discord as I did for PAX East, so expect to see that. And other than that, I hope you all have a great night. Happy Monday, and I will probably be back on my regular scheduled time. I'm gonna try for next Monday at 9:15 Eastern. I will be in Mountain View / San Bruno, but I'll try and be there for that. So thank you very much. I appreciate all the ones who've been here all night long. Gaming Lawyer, Leif, To the Nines, Victor, and a million other people. Thank you very much. It's been great. Lisa, if you're still watching, happy birthday. And I will see you all later. Bye-bye.